Dean, it is election night in the wonderful United States of America.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, our Canadian brothers and our Australian sister, do you guys have an election going on right now?
We don't over here. Nope.
No.
We should. We really should.
I see. I mean, really, though, even with all that stuff, I think this may be the most important news of the night, right, Dean?
Oh, yeah. CW is kind of where you want to be. The election results will sort themselves out, but tonight we talk about what matters most.
That is true. Now, I'm going to ask Marco and Dean a question, and this is very important how you answer this question. In fact, let me get a button ready here.
I'm terrified right now.
This is the cold seat.
This is the pre-seat.
Cold seat.
Cold seat. Dean, did you vote this election cycle?
I did a couple weeks ago.
Didn't you see it near the river when you were walking by today?
Who'd you vote for? Just kidding. Marco, did you vote in this election cycle?
I did. We turned in our ballots this morning.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you. I'm going to give you guys both the bonus point. And for our peoples of the world that could not vote, I have an opportunity for a kind of a softball bonus question for you guys. So let me add up some scores here. We got Dean with 3 points.
You gave them a bonus point because they voted.
Let's go.
Wow.
For exercising their civic
Talk
duties.
about desperation.
I vote Dean for president.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care who they voted for. I just wanted them to vote.
Can I vent really quick, though? It shouldn't be this difficult to vote. Like, they should
Everyone.
just make it as easy as possible, give you time off work, but that's not how things go around here.
I wish we had an app, right?
Oh, bro,
Does it really?
Like imagine you're playing Fortnite, you got Goku and Superman on screen, and like between matches, like, hey, who do you want to vote for? Easy,
does it-
right?
It should be as simple as that.
Does it really matter who you guys vote for? I thought the Russians just come in and change the vote anyway.
That's what
You're part of the problem, John.
I could say that.
Shots fired.
I can
Shots
say that.
fired.
Poorly educated.
I miss
Yeah,
that
I
guy
guess that-
sometimes.
You should have just went in. That was the cap, the end cap there.
I know. I missed it. I missed it.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Shall we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collecting weekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm a bad hombre.
Wow.
I'm Ben.
I'm Leslie.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank our friends over at 1/6 Corner for sponsoring this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. Don't forget to use code CW10 during our live recordings for 10% off all in-stock items. Go over to 16corner.com right now while we're live and use code capital C, capital W10 to get 10% off all in-stock items.
We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. We have a bunch of angels in the chat already. We got Toy Mafia, Yomo, Fat Batman's Collecting Nightmare, Absolute Irwin, Trevor Weed, Pablo Meza, Baby Boy 562, Baby Fam checking in, excited for the episode. Mr. Mom's Collectibles, Pablo Meza, Absolute Irwin, DJ Equan, Jeff Ramos, Cram, God of War Ragnarok in less than 3 hours, Calvin Williams II. Dean, we have a very special segment that we kick off all of the best shows with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? So I went to my local HEB to buy some groceries, And I was like, you know what? I'm going to check the toy aisle. Usually my store is pretty lame, but this time they had Dr. Robotnik or Eggman, depending on whichever one you like. So I needed him, and then right behind him they had Shadow. I don't know if you guys know anything about Sonic characters, but Shadow's usually like the more expensive one.
Are you still looking for Rogue? Or Rouge?
Rouge? Yeah.
Raj?
Yeah.
I saw her at Days of Walla Walmart yesterday, but it was so early. I didn't think you were up.
I was like, oh, I'm almost done buying these things. I made a list. I still have like 8 fucking figures I need to get. But yeah, he's like $35 online, and they retail for 10. So I was really happy to find him at retail. So, but that was my new this week. What about you guys?
So I had the absolute sketchiest fucking online purchase I have ever.
I was like 90% sure you were not going to get this.
Bro, I thought I was funding like ISIS with this money that I sent this company. So, fucking Marco. Ben, stop typing. Fucking Marco was, he got this basketball hoop, right? And I was like, dang, that is such a cool thing, right? Like, I kind of want a basketball. Yeah, I kind of want a basketball hoop, right? But I need a basketball figure, right? And so I want the Giannis, right? I think it has problems. I think it will come out better than what we've seen. It's also $300 and it's not out for a while. And I'm thinking like, well, if I have a Giannis, like it would be cool to put another player with him, you know, kind of like I imagine like the setup with the hoop and like 2 players or whatever. And I'm thinking like, well, who's on, you know, who's available, right? So it's like Steph Curry, it's like Michael Jordan, if I want to spend like $1,000. And there's also a LeBron James figure, right? And I was talking to Steven's Collectibles a few weeks ago, and he's like, yeah, we got this one. It's sold like super crazy. Like it's a really nice figure. He's like, it's a tough sell in San Antonio, but you know, it ended up selling out like almost immediately. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll look on Mercari, eBay, Google, whatever. And they're like $350, $400, right? This figure retailed for like $330, and it's up there quite a bit. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I'm spending full price, like I may as well just get the figure I really want, right? Like Giannis. So I'm going through Google and I see this site called The Network. It's NTWRK. And they have an advertisement for LeBron for $139. That's like $200 off basically. And I'm like, okay, like that's a really good price. But why? Like, why is that so cheap?
Did you think the shipping might be like $200 at that point?
I thought it would be like some crazy price. So I'm like, I've never heard of this site. This is like the only 1/6 scale figure that I could find. Let me Google their reviews, right? So I Googled their reviews, bro. Like 80% of their reviews are like 1 and 2 star reviews, and they're like scammer company, doesn't ship, took a month, figure never came, or like they sell mostly like sneakers and like basketball gear. By the way, Ben, fantastic shirt. I just noticed. And so I'm like, you know what? So I call my bank and I'm like, hey, like I'm making this purchase, like this website, like all their security certifications look legit. If they are a scamming website, like y'all get my money back, right? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Like we got your bag. I'm like, you know, fuck it, YOLO. 50% off. And so I do the purchase, and literally as soon as I hit submit purchase, my bank is like blowing up my phone. Like potential scam calls, like they're texting me. I've never heard a person from my bank call me, but they're like, hey, you need to call us back ASAP. I was like, oh shit. Like I definitely just sent money to terrorists. Like
Homeland Security's blowing up your phone.
Bro,
now.
and the automated message is like, if you authorize this purchase to a software company, press 1. I'm like, no, this is like NBA official merchandise and sneakers. Now, the only thing that the reason that really made me purchase this was because it's a network exclusive version of the figure. So like you have Sideshow exclusive versions you only get from Sideshow. So I was like, this company has to be somewhat legit, right? Like if they have their own version of the figure, the only other company that got one was Interbay. And so I emailed them right away because after like 3 days I didn't get an order number. And they're like, oh yeah, sorry, our website kind of sucks. We mostly do stuff on the app. Here's your order number. your item will ship in 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? And so, long story short, I actually got my figure today. And holy Jesus, John always talks about Enterbay as like the super quality company. And John, I was blown away. This is my first Enterbay figure. You got foam packaging. You got like the way they wrapped the exclusive jersey was like super clean. It has a
so this is an alternate jersey, right?
So he comes with the yellow, and then the network exclusive is the white jersey. I guess that's like the home or the away, whatever. And it comes with a card with a COA with a numbered edition, John. I know you like that numbered edition out of 500. And so I'm like smitten. I'm over the moon. And Equan is like, yo, they have the regular edition now for like 120.
That's a steal, man.
And I'm like, fuck, dude, I might get a second one just so I can have both jerseys on display. And I mean, even if you don't need, the white jersey, like 120 is a steal because you get the 4 Larry O'Brien trophies, you get the warm-up gear, you get the sneakers, even just the body by itself on eBay is like almost $100.
Could you buy a Cavs jersey for him? Like if you bought
Yeah. There's the more modern Lakers jerseys, like because it's number 6 now. So this was a great purchase. I was freaked out all of October because I thought I had funded illicit activities. And it was a happy story nonetheless. Now, I do have it open, but Equan has an Enterbay figure, and Marco has the hoop. So we'll be doing like a 3-way Enterbay deep dive. Don't get too excited, Ben. It's a tough nut to swallow. And we will we'll kind of
We're getting ready for
dive. We'll be playing with each other's balls and everything. It'll be great.
Jeez, no. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Because I haven't picked up an Enterbay in quite some time, but
yes,
you've taken it out of the box?
Yes, I have.
The feet, is it peg at the ankle, John, or is it still angled?
John, I swear to God, it took me like almost 40 minutes to put those fucking angled.
It's angled, right?
Dude, and I almost dropped the fucking sneaker in the toilet in like a weird, like, I was by the bathroom sink with the blow dryer and it like bing, 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 almost fell into the toilet. It was
it's the angle nightmare. Sucks. They did the Joker like that.
You could take the blow dryer into other rooms too. Just a heads up.
I could. That's a great suggestion.
Multitasking.
At least didn't take it to the beach with them this time.
How dare you? How dare you? Anyways, but that is my new this week. Now, I did mention a Vintage Bus. I don't get it. So you just told your bank it was legit before you even knew? No, because Vintage, they were asking if like someone stole my card. So I told them I made the purchase, but I don't know if the website is legit. So it was like half confirming. But I did mention we do have a bonus opportunity for our non-American people. So I have 3 questions. They're very easy. Who would like to go first?
Ladies first.
Leslie? Okay, you're on mute, Leslie, but
way to put me on the spot. All right.
I have to.
John just wants to see how easy they really are.
I'm such a polite Canadian. That's how we do it.
Who would like to go second? Who would like to go second?
I'll go second.
All right, and John will go third. Now,
I forgot Ben didn't vote today. Yeah, that's right. There's 3 of us.
I'm going to give you... I don't think John voted in the last election. Exactly. Crack the point. I'm going to give you guys 2 emojis, okay? And you tell me the character, right? Cool. They're pop culture, they're heroes or whatever. But these are like ultra softball questions. You have 30 seconds. Let me get my little timer here ready.
I keep sending devils and lettuce to Marco, but I don't think he gets it. So I was disappointed.
Oh, no, I got it, bro.
All right, here we go, Leslie.
It's going down.
Negative Suit Spider-Man?
Is that your final answer? Just keep naming names. I'll give it to you guys if you guess it.
Spider Ghost is too obvious.
Reverse those.
Oh man. Ghost Spider?
Yes, there we go. Spider Gwen,
Spider?
Officially known as Ghost Spider. Bonus point there. Where's my button here?
Hold on a second. If she had to reverse, if she had to reverse it, why wouldn't you put the ghost before the spider?
That was too easy. That was like there's softball and there's t-ball.
You make this stuff too hard. I'm telling you.
This is so easy.
What Hot Toys figures came out between the year 1999 and what?
How dare you? Okay, fine. For this one, reverse them too.
Sword
man.
cookie, cookie sword.
in our
that's
Gandalf.
Easy.
This is so easy.
That's
This
really
is easy.
Moon Knight.
Oh,
Wait, no, Leslie, you're not supposed to go.
Leslie,
I would say that it's
now you
Moon
take her point away.
Knight. I didn't know that was a moon. It looks like a wheel of cheese. I was like, cheese.
I forgot. Dean, Canada's never been to the moon. They don't know what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
Okay, John. John, this one's for you. All right, John, this one's for you. 30 seconds on the
I
clock.
love that pro-American humor.
Moria
is-
staff.
This is so easy.
Oh, that's
White Gandalf.
Reverse it.
Gandalf the White, the
Thank
Gray.
you. Oh boy, yeah, you're good. All right, let me give you
Now
guys
you have
your
us
bonus
conditioned to
points.
do the second one first. I don't even.
I
get
know,
a
I
second.
thought it was too
Give
easy.
Leslie the 2 points. She got it in front of me. She stole it, but I'll give it to her.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
There we
That's
go.
okay.
Let me.
It was better than cheese night. Better than cheese night.
Jesus, cheese night.
Cheese Nut.
All right, let's
a new
get
one.
into the news here. Hot Toys, I Am Groot. There's two versions here, regular and deluxe. $219 for the regular, $275 for the deluxe. Releasing October 2023 to March 2024. Badfish says, Zach going from Jeopardy questions last week to Blue's Clues this week. It was a softball question. All they had to do was vote or guess these easy ass questions.
That's funny.
You know, I really enjoyed when people got the last Baby Groot. There was so many fun Christmas photos, so many fun mischief. I guess I'll call them mischief photos. I don't hate this. I haven't seen this show or like little shorts that this is from, so a lot of these accessories are lost on me. But I kind of like these cute little cucumbers. It's kind of horrifying. It looks like they just peg into the eye socket, but this is cute. It's got got some, looks like leaves here, has some interchangeable faces. I love that. And then for the deluxe, you get, looks like a few extra Groots here. I really like the way that they've done this. I'm curious though if this is gonna have a big ass seam line like the Mysterio had, but this is a cool effect with this kind of like soap bubble type translucency, and this is iridescence.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. I guess this is Iwa and pajamas. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all.
Pajamas are
What do you think,
Oh
Dean?
my God, that's our childhood, Dean. Please.
Yeah.
Movie of the week.
Yeah,
TV
like
show of
I
the
don't know. I don't hate it, but it's just kind of like, why? Is this show even out? Are people watching this? I don't even know.
I watched
Yusby
them
said
all.
it's really good.
They're
is
really,
it?
really short. I think it's like,
Like
I wanna say it's
3 or 4
3
minutes long. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
I
kind
love
of show I
Yusby.
can get behind.
I mean, a lot of
love
people
Yusby,
might
but
say
he
3
loves-
minutes is a long time.
Yeah, Marco, say that again.
I love Usby, but he loves everything though.
He
So we
does.
can
That
use
is
him as a
true.
Fucking
barometer,
yes, man.
which
But
I'm kind of
also-
jealous of.
Like I don't know. Like I feel like I say this all the time, but they should be fucking putting out shit instead of keep putting up new shit that's not out. It's getting a little old, especially for a show apparently that's super short. It's like, okay, what about all the figures from like movies that you haven't released and
What about Loki?
other TV shows that are proper shows? Yeah, it's like I
Where's
guess
Bix?
like it's cute, but it's like all these are. Well, I don't know about the base Groot, but it's like most of that's like unique sculpts, so it's like you're taking people away from making proper shit. I don't know. It's I don't hate it, but I'm also not like in love with it.
I feel it's very gimmicky, but I think it could be fun, especially if you have kids. Like when you were mentioning, Zach, about the photos and people taking different photos, first thing that came to my head, Elf on the Shelf. This is like the Hot Toys Elf on the Shelf.
Yes. Yeah. When
Dude,
that last one
yeah.
came out, that was
Yeah.
all I was seeing. It was incredible.
So I
Incredible.
think it's really cool. It's affordable. It's not that bad, but it's cool if you have kids and you want to kind of get the kids into the collecting. I think this is a good option for them.
Yeah, first of all, I have to apologize to Usby because great guy. He's responsible for me getting Comic-Con tickets this weekend, so I'm taking shots at him over here. But yeah, he hooked it up big time. Second of all, Gigi and I do not agree on a lot when it comes to collecting, but we love Baby Groot in this household. And she wants this actually. Like, you know, when she heard the price, she was like, maybe not. But I think she's very interested in this release. And I think it looks great. Like, what's not to love about Baby Groot? I'm a little concerned by the number of accessories and like how all these will attach. Like Zach was saying, like, does it peg into the eyes? There's a lot of unanswered questions for me. But even if you just had him standard in pajamas, I think that's good enough to get the job done. So I think this is one that'll probably be coming to the collection, but maybe hopefully at a discount because, yeah, it's a little pricey.
One thing to remember here, sorry, Ben, is the pajamas will only come with the deluxe version. So if you want those, you'll be spending the $275.
Thank you for that clarification. Also, the bubble thing is kind of terrifying to me. I don't like the face on it. It's like very unsettling.
It's a little creepy.
Looks like a Sour Patch Kid.
True.
Ooh, yeah. For me, this is just it's too pricey. This is something I might pay like $80 for. I think when it's getting into the 200 plus range, by the time I get it to Canada with conversion and shipping, like we're looking at over $300 for Groot. Now I know that the original Groot right now, even on the aftermarket, was going still for pretty good money. Like I want to say somewhere between $300 and $400 I saw recently on Facebook Marketplace. So I mean, there's still clearly a bit of a demand for Groot. I think in terms of the show, I feel like the show, and I don't want to speak for everybody, for me, I feel like it would have been better to do it like Pixar used to do with their little shorts, where before a Pixar movie would start, you get to see kind of like the squirrel for Ice Age, or like the lamp, or something like that. Like, there's enough Marvel content right now. Like, why not add a 3-minute Groot segment to every Marvel content, right? And make people see it more and have more caring about this figure itself. But for me, this isn't for my collection. I honestly I can't see it unless it goes way bargain bin, and even $80 I feel like would be a tough nut to swallow. I don't think I'd go with it. So, but yeah, what do you think, Leslie?
I think he's very cute. I don't know many people who aren't a fan of Baby Groot. I think that the fact that they've created multiple is quite an attractive draw. The only downside, again, is, yes, the price. Based on what he comes with, it would have been nice if people could have more of a choice. Instead of, if they want the pajama version, they have to get the other guys as well. But it would have been nice if people had more of an option to choose instead of just getting the whole lot, when really a lot of them are only going to pose probably one or two at a time. And the translucent one is a bit creepy. I'm not going to lie. If your kid has a nightlight, it's going to look kind of ghostly. I think they tried. I think they tried, and I don't think they did too badly in the execution of them. Not at all. But I just think it's... maybe they could have added a few more colors instead of making it completely clear. Maybe the bending of the light kind of gives it those details that it has in the photos. But yeah, I do think he's cute, though. I do think he is. Again, it's just the price. I think we can all agree on that.
One other thing I'll add quick as well, I guess, is that one of the things that sometimes in my mind make a potential G word or grail in the future is the last version of a character. Now we're seeing that in the next Guardians movie. I'm pretty confident we're seeing him now already as teenage Groot. So unless we keep seeing more shorts of Baby Groot here, this may be the last opportunity to buy a Hot Toys Groot of baby size anyways. But hard to say. It is hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
Equan says, I can see why Ben likes the Ice Age squirrel. The guy just wants a big nut to swallow. Jesus Christ. Asmus Toys, looked to my coming on the first light of the 5th day at dawn. Look to the east. A little teaser here. Of their upcoming Gandalf the White. And,
Zach,
on first... Yes, Dean.
Tell us what's wrong with the staff. I know it's
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
Coming, dude.
All right, so can I just log off for the next 30 minutes?
That's not a staff, man. That's a Q-tip.
I thought it was like one of those Febreze candles, on a stick.
It's a little curved at the end, which, whatever floats your boat. But initially I thought it was okay because I'd become very familiar with a lot of the stuff that Weta is doing in the 1/6 scale range. But John pointed it out, and then I confirmed as well. But it's missing some details here. when it tapers down at the end of these little points here, it should have a little bit of a, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but it should kind of taper out just a bit. Went through a bunch of screenshots, and yeah, it's definitely missing a little bit of detail, which is kind of odd because Asmus really did a tremendous amount of research for their, for their Crown Series Gandalf. Whether or not you agree with the execution of the final release, that figure was very, very accurate in a lot of places. So this is a look here at the United Cutlery version. Again, you can see that tapering. And one thing that kind of strikes me as odd is in all of the different props and all the different screenshots, all of the points of this staff kind of come together at the end, whereas the Asmus one, it kind of like bends outward on one side. This doesn't inspire a ton of confidence given what we've seen at SDCC and now this. I think like if you're going to show us stuff, kind of like Mark always says, control the message, put your best foot forward. This doesn't particularly excite me, for the upcoming quality of this figure. But I'm curious, John, you pointed it out first, and maybe for the rest of the panel. Is there any excitement here for this?
I don't know.
Badfish likes it.
Like, Gandalf the White is in 2 movies as opposed to 1 if you're just doing Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
But, like, to me, Gandalf the Grey is still, like, the Gandalf to own. I always say it, like, when I close my eyes, you say Gandalf, I think of Gandalf the Grey, not Gandalf the White.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Like it's cool, but it's just not the Gandalf to get, Unless they absolutely fucking kill it. But based off the staff, I'm not really expecting a whole lot.
Can I ask this question? What type of flex did they think they were doing with this image here? Because, like, let's say you 3D printed this, Zach, and then I saw the side-by-side of it. Okay, well, it's kind of close. But for an officially licensed company, why even put this out if it's not even... And there's so many noticeable flaws. If you're going to zoom in that close, at least, like, zoom out and have the character holding it.
It's
like,
not a... Yeah, you're totally right. It's like... I mean, this could be printed, like, in a few hours, right? Like... This isn't showing me a lot, to be honest.
Not when they have the competition that they do.
I agree. I completely agree.
Completely half-ass.
But now InArt only has to give it 85%, and they'll still, do better. So.
And that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's a massive problem.
That is a problem. You would expect Asmus to be like bringing their A game,
fighting
what
for
you're trying
it.
to say, right? Like
exactly.
fighting for it. 100%.
No,
100%.
But I think they're going for the market where they don't want to, the collector who doesn't want to spend $500-600 on a piece.
Yeah.
The more affordable option. But even at that rate, you should be like, this is how much would it cost you to pay attention to these little minute details. I don't think it's going to break the bank for them.
And you know what bothers me, John, is we've told this to InArt as well, and I think it may have fallen on deaf ears, but Asmus should be very familiar with the cost of messing something like this up, right? Mm-hmm. They released the Gandalf. The hat was terrible. With I'm talking the Hobbit Gandalf. They released the Crown Gandalf. The hat was somehow worse. Right now they're having to go back and fix and send out complimentary hats. Basically, just charge for shipping, but that's thousands of hats that they're making at their own expense to fix an issue that could have been solved quite easily. And then not only that, but the issue with the eyes. They said they're gonna go back, and everyone that has the Crown Gandalf or the Hobbit Gandalf, there may be some options to purchase or to receive a replacement sculpt with better eyes. Again, something that should have been caught very early in the production cycle. Don't understand how it wasn't. But if you're already messing up, the outfit is tremendously complex for Gandalf the White. You look at him and you think it's just a dude wearing, white robes and whatnot, but it's a very, very intricate outfit that if they're messing up on the hard stuff, like the stuff that you could just, get the staff, 3D scan it, and then reproduce it, it doesn't inspire the confidence to me that they're going to get that super intricate patterned outfit correct. So it's kind of a bummer. I'm interested to see what's going to come out, but we last saw this, I want to say in July, at SDCC, and this is the second thing that we're seeing of this, and I'm not too stoked, to be honest. So
I'll be honest with you, Zach. I don't have the energy for another staff fight.
yeah, we're gonna have to. We need to make a hat, John, that just says "Make Staffs Great Again."
Yeah, I think so.
Oh gosh.
And we'll just wear it on stream, and people will get the message.
Yeah, there you go.
Zach, you shouldn't have said anything and started printing these on the side, buddy. Like, you would have made a decent amount of
I'm
side
going
coin.
to. I
think that's a great sticker idea, though. I would love that sticker, to be
Make
honest.
Staffs
Just
Great
how-
Again.
Yeah.
Vintage says it's just a poor marketing choice hitting something like that with a macro shot. Zoom in on a Hot Toys lightsaber. The buttons don't look real compared to the prop. Absolutely agreed. Can you guys check private chat for a second, just so we're all on the same page on something? So Toys introduced Hidden Project 2022. Now this photo is not accurate as of today. The top row middle figure we've confirmed to be something else, but a few people were kind of taking guesses, and some people made some great little edits here. But let's take a look at what we've seen. We now have 3 figures from Hidden Project 2022. The first is Anna Marie. This one retails for $170. This is Rogue in the classic X-Man outfit.
Is that her name?
I gotta say,
I think it's Anne-Marie Raven.
Okay. I don't know anything about the X-Men, but I was like, well, that's a weird name to just name the figure.
yeah, I gotta say, there's a lot to like about this. There's a lot to not like about this.
That smiling sculpt is pretty rough, too.
It's pretty bad.
It is.
I think the more stoic portrait might be better, but not by much. I also think, at the risk of sounding a bit crass, I think she was a bit curvier and more voluptuous in the television show. I'm not quite getting that here. The suit just doesn't seem like it's fit particularly well either. Again, it's 170 though, so I don't hate it, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think she's. I mean, the head sculpt could use a lot of work. I think what they've done is they've gone for a very lifelike approach here. They've made her very athletic. They've made her a lot slimmer, far less voluptuous than she was. The hair at the top is very dark. It's a very dark grey. It would be nice if it was lighter. And I think they could have made her chin less pointy and her jaw maybe a tad bit wider to cater for fuller lips and, more piercing eyes. They've gone for... I'm curious about their choice because with their Gambit figure, they introduced some elements of the animated series to his face and his eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to why they deviated from that with her. I don't really have an issue with the age that they're trying to promote here because in the animated series, a lot of the X-Men were in their very early 30s and possibly late 20s, obviously except for Jubilee, who was significantly younger. So I don't really have a problem with the age range that they're shooting for here, but the smiling one especially, it needs a bit more finesse, I think. But other than that, that's my only real gripe. And the boots, I think, could use a bit more work. Yeah.
I'm liking the split cut on the boots, though. I'll tell you that much, America.
It is. That is
liking
awesome.
The split cuts.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say I was feeling super conflicted about this today. I even reached out to Marco because I like that we're getting a Rogue 1/6 scale figure. I think that is excellent. Mm-hmm. To me, when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, I see Rogue. I see kind of like what Les was saying. Like, I kind of see what they're trying to go for. But she's somewhere kind of a cross blend between animated and real life. But I think it's made her look a little bit like kind of like a soccer mom in really good cosplay, but without totally nailing the costume. So like the green and the yellow are much brighter colors in the show, like much brighter. The jacket, even though occasionally it looks brown, I looked at some night shots and stuff, it's actually more of like a green jacket, like an army green. And then one of the things that always struck me about Rogue was the really white section of hair and the really vibrant red streaks of hair. And where they've gone with the brown and the gray, I think somebody said in the chat, it almost looks like Medusa, like snakes, as opposed to like hair like Rogue would have had. So I'm kind of like, okay, the price isn't bad. What if we don't get another Rogue? On the other hand, it's not nailing the character for me. And if I go down this line, then this is just one figure in my collection that isn't necessarily going to match my other figures. Like, I don't have really any animated series, so if I get an animated series style figure in my collection, is she going to actually fit in? Or am I going to feel like I need to pair her then with other figures that I wasn't necessarily intending to buy just to try and give her a companion piece? And so ultimately, I put that all on the table for Marco. He was like, sounds like you should not do it. And I was like, you know what? I agree. I agree. I'm gonna try and stay away. I know the hype train on this is gonna be real, 100% real.
Yeah.
But I feel like we still have to be critical in a positive enough way that maybe we'll see some tweaks before we actually get it in hand.
Absolutely. And I think it's a pretty quick...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, John. And then
No, please. Please, no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's a pretty quick turnaround on these, though. I think the target, from what I was hearing, was the target was to have them out fairly soon, and that's why they're so limited. But I don't have that
Christmas.
information for sure. There you go. So Christmas. Thank you. So, yeah. So I don't think we will expect to see many changes, if any, at all. And I was pretty underwhelmed. I know we're going to talk about the other figures, but everything they kind of showed, they had that first teaser image. I was like, I've been waiting for this Rogue. I've got the Gambit as well. And yeah, this is it's definitely underwhelming. It's not as elite as I thought it would be. It's definitely a very imperfect figure. But that being said, I still put in a pre-order knowing it's going to be limited. I think there's enough redeeming qualities. I like kind of the outfit. It's just very much the 90s X-Men, which I grew up on, which I absolutely loved. I don't love either face sculpt at all. I'm glad that they kind of toned down her curviness just a little bit. It couldn't have been as crazy as it was in the cartoon.
It was a little aggressive in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
One
they
could
went
dream,
more
Marco.
lifelike for sure.
One could dream.
Yeah, that's right. She and April O'Neil were two of my first crushes. So, and the Pink Ranger.
Mommy's on the microphone.
Pink Ranger represent.
Pink Ranger as well. So, but yeah, so one that I was like, Ben, yeah, if you're conflicted, I think definitely pause. Again, for me, it was easier because I already had the Gambit, and kind of, knowing it's a third party, it's a little bit cheaper. I can forgive a few things where on Hot Toys I normally would be very, very critical of. So, interested to see how this looks in hand, but not like so blown away that like I think anyone has to rush out and order this.
Yeah, I think this figure would be a great pickup. I think her representation... First of all, I don't think you're going to get a Rogue figure that comes even close to this anywhere else anytime soon. I like what... For the price. That price is a steal. The
Agreed.
portraits are horrendous, though. Like, horrendous. But I think everything else, they hit the nail on the head. Especially the sculpting of her hair.
You like the hair?
I think they did.
You like the Medusa snakes?
They did a fantastic job on the hair, in my opinion.
It feels true to the character to me, John.
Exactly.
So I'm with you on that.
I'd be sending mine to Zach for a repaint.
If you look at a lot of the statues they do, similar style. But the portraits, there's absolutely no excuse for that portraits.
Oh, this looks sick right here.
But yeah, look
Them
how good that
together
looks.
does look really good.
I gotta
Them
say,
together
like,
looks
Awesome.
outside of all the issues that I may have with this figure, it's such an incredible companion piece to their Cajun car dealer that it's like, for the price, the limited availability of it. I know that some people are saying we're probably being a bit too critical. I think that's kind of why we're here, is to be critical. But outside of those critiques, I think it does pair extremely well with this figure, and I think that's going to be a shelf display for a lot of people.
I think that this So Toys, I know they've been on the map for a while, but I really think that they keep moving closer and closer to that end goal. The presentation's great. They're getting people to talk about them. The way they kind of did that secret, guess what figures are, the community's raving about it, the YouTube channels are talking about it, and I think they're on the right track to really being successful.
What Wolverine do you think would look best with this one then? The Mondo animated series, or do you think that's too animated and you should go with more like the sideshow Wolverine?
Well,
that's partially where I was on the fence too.
They are making at least what a lot of us believe, that they might be making a Logan. So I don't know if it's going to be like the more comic style Logan with the trench coat, which is what everyone's thinking, But if you wanted to stay within the same brand, yeah, Old Man Logan. If you wanted to stay within the same brand, that might be an option. But I think the blue and yellow. I mean, if you were gonna pick I think the Mondo one is just too different. To be honest, I don't think they would look well together. Yeah, I would say the Sideshow one, and even as all the crap we give Sideshow, I think that their Magneto is the classic one. Is incredible. That's such a Grail figure.
So cool.
No, I've never had that one.
Oh,
It's such a Grail figure for me.
I'll tell you, if the sculpting of the portrait, not to bash the artist or anything like that, but if the sculpting of the portraits was just a tad more on point, I'm telling you, this figure,
They'd be right up there with the best of them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
and I think
feel
that's their shortcoming, John, right? They're inconsistent. They got all the pieces to really be close to greatness right now, but they're just missing the mark on a few things.
It takes time. It'll take some time.
No doubt.
I feel like, at least in this hobby, it's not unheard of to do custom head sculpts or just go on eBay and type in 1/6 head sculpt, and there's hundreds to choose from. So
Yeah.
if you really didn't like this, it's very easy to find a replacement and then just get someone to custom paint it, or you can paint it yourself. It's not an impossible feat. I mean, we 3D print shit all the time when we don't like something, or it's like, hey, I don't really want to spend $200 on a head sculpt. Find a digital version and print it yourself. Like, I think John was right. I think like they nailed everything about this figure. The head sculpt, yeah, leaves a little bit to be desired, and it's a very easy, super relatively affordable fix. It's not the end of the world. Like that, it renders this purchase like unjustifiable. So I think it's a solid release, whether you like the head sculpt or you don't. I think it's good.
Let's move on here. So they're calling this Unbreakable, but this is Invincible from the comic and Amazon Prime series. They've made the Omni-Man character already, so this would be to go alongside it. This one retails for $198 and again comes out fairly quickly. Split cut boot. You get some different options here with the I don't want to say armor, but the outfit has some different pieces that you can exchange. It has blood on the hands, blood on the gauntlets, blood on the neck. You also get that bloody portrait, which I think looks stunning. And then it says that the hair can be swapped between the two different options. So I guess you could technically get 4 different head sculpt looks from this combination. And I would say the build of this looks a bit too broad at the shoulders, but otherwise we've seen a lot of people making kits for Omni-Man and Invincible, and those, like Dean said, you got to find someone to paint them, you got to find someone either to print them, you got to find a tailor to make the outfit. Like, this is one-stop shop. You get two portraits, a bunch of hands, some accessories, $198. I don't think you can beat it, to be honest.
Yeah, I just don't think it looks like Bruce Willis. Come on, you fool. Yeah, this is solid. I'm not a fan of Unbreakable or Invincible myself, but people love it, and people are after the figures, and we've seen a lot of customs or third parties. So I think this is cool for those collectors that want Invincible on their shelf. So I feel like he was younger in the show, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I felt like he was 18, 19, 20. But this figure looks like, I don't know, like a 30-year-old dude. So
it does feel a bit old, Dean.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, okay, it's just a Invincible later in life. So I think it's still cool.
Yeah, I think from the neck up, this looks really great. I'm not convinced with the suit material or the body choice, like Zach was saying. Something about kind of the rest of the figure looks just very generic to me, and I get that's true to the design of the character, and I did enjoy the series on Amazon, but this is one that I debated for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm getting the Rogue already. Do I necessarily need this? There's a lot of impressive parts to it, but you get this, you're going to have to get Omni-Man after that. I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to regret missing out on him, but I think I can sleep okay at night knowing that this is one that I could just pass up on.
So you didn't pre-order this one, Marco? Sorry, you said.
I didn't. No, I considered it, but yeah, I did not.
See, this one is still, for me, one that I'm leaning towards buying. I agree with kind of what Zach was saying. I think it looks pretty badass. The blood stains on the outfit, that swappable portion is phenomenal. I really, really liked the show, and when the show debuted and I watched it all the way through, I immediately was thinking 6 scale and shelf presence and like what this figure could look like. I agree, though, if I get him, I do feel like I need to get an Omni-Man. I don't think he should stand by himself, and the Omni-Man that they have made available already is a pretty big boy, but he also is a pretty expensive boy. So to get this, I'm thinking more about the investment of the package, not necessarily the figure standalone. Although, if you don't care, I think as a standalone, it could still look really cool in the collection. And I think for the price, this is a banger. I like the coloration. I like what they look like. I agree, Dean. I think he looks a little old, but I'm cool to see him as just being a slightly older version of the character we've seen already on screen. So this one, I think I actually will probably pre-order as opposed to the Rogue.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you, Zach. I think he looks cool. I mean, I haven't seen the show, but, you know, I love the look of blood spatter on his face. I think that looks insanely good. And look at the colors pop. You know, he's very simplistic with the accessories he comes with. Yeah, I've got no gripes. I've got no point of reference for the character in the show, but he looks cool.
100%. Cram says, "Oh shit, I need that. Where can I get him and Omni-Man?" So there's a couple places you can get this. Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, go ahead. You're good, Ben. You're good.
I was gonna say 1/6. What the heck is it? Though our sponsor, one of our sponsors. I apologize. 1/6.
1/6 corner.
Wow.
I wish it was on the
1/6
screen
corner.
right now.
I wanted to say
Jesus.
1/6 kit. It
What
was
a
in my head.
fucking
1/6 corner. Use CW10, and you can get a bit of a discount
Jesus
on them,
Christ,
which
man.
is pretty.
I love the poorly educated.
That was a great double whammy. I will say that I did put.
I was so
my
confident in my
pre-order with-
delivery.
Yeah, so almost there. I did put my pre-order with 1/6 corner. That was my first time buying with them, so looking forward to reporting back on the experience.
I don't know if you can get Omni-Man there though. You can get this character, the Unbreakable.
They had yeah.
Yeah, so let's move forward. Night Out Spider. This one is 168, also releasing fairly soon. This one, I will be honest, I like Spider characters. I'm very familiar with the source material of the first 2 figures we talked about today, but I'll be honest, maybe I'm a fake fan, but I have no clue what this is from. So if you guys have an idea, or even if the chat knows, I am 100% all ears.
I think it's a skin from the Avengers game.
Yeah, from the Avengers game, but
That sounds...
Leslie,
Yeah.
a name.
Let's keep it in the Avengers game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus
I
Christ.
think
Yeah, it doesn't translate well. It almost reminds me of like a terribly made homemade suit Spider-Man.
Well, it's different. At the end of the day, you got to appreciate it artistically because it is different, but I don't think I have room for it.
Do
Personally.
we though? No.
You should. Well, hey, we look at these licensed companies and they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's nice to get a little taste of something else, even if you don't necessarily collect. Like this doesn't fit in your collection. At least appreciate
And I
that
say
we're
that
getting
in
something
jest.
different.
All 3 of these figures are companion pieces, right, to others, and they're showing one right here. So yeah, no, I could see if you've already got this other one, then it could pair nicely with that.
CSI Grissom's thing was
I was
good.
just reading that.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, Poop plus Spider.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very smart there, Marco. Like you said, they're making companion pieces. Often we complain that other companies don't. So, yeah, this one's a little bit of a miss for me, but I'm sure there are people that would be very happy to have it.
100%.
Here's
If you're a
look.
Spider-Man collector, you're definitely adding this into your collection. Let's be honest. Even if it's kind of a back row burner, he's still gonna look cool with the rest. I think it looks cool that the mask looks like it's kind of like a cotton material, like he's pulled over, but it's also sculpted. I think that's funky. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool looking. I don't hate it.
You're a kind of cool guy, Ben.
Oh,
Hot Toys released the
Here we go.
figure / blogger pics of the Mech Test Tony 2.0 figure, and I gotta say, from the initial pics, I was like, okay, cool. And then we saw some in-hand photos, and I feel like there's just a lot to be desired here. Now, I understand completely that this is like not a battle damage figure. This is like as issued, like fresh out the tool room, like first flight type deal. But I think where some of Hot Toys' strengths come, in my opinion, is making plastic not look like plastic, right? They have a really great metallized effect that they use for like lightsaber hilts. They do excellent, even I'm saying weathering, but a simple black wash I think would have really made this really brought this all together, because right now it just looks like a bunch of unfinished cheap plastic that they've kind of glued together and kind of just colored, and it doesn't look super great, to be honest. The portrait, I don't have a ton of issues, but I felt like it should be included. It looks a bit soft, but they've nailed the Iron Man portrait many more times than they've not. So I think it should be fine. But I mean, just looking at this arm piece, like this had the potential to be such a cool figure, but it just looks like they were kind of making this and then just stopped halfway through and then shipped it out. It seems unfinished and frankly quite cheap.
Yeah, I didn't see these in-hand photos until just now, and yeah, when you pulled it up, I was like, why does it look so flat? Like,
yeah, that's a great word there, flat. Yeah,
it is a very good word, actually.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at the Rogue.
Wow!
Wow! It just needs
Spicy.
it needs separation, right? Like it's just a bunch of shitty, not metal gray plastic. Like if it was normal Hot Toys metal looking plastic, it'd probably look much better. But it's like, it almost makes me think this figure missed a few steps. Like I refuse to believe that everyone's going to come out looking like this. I know that's not the case, though. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed in this.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those 90s Action Man 12-inch figures.
Wow. I have one of those, you know that?
Like, I loved those.
Still in
and
the
I
box.
With the parachute. Remember, you threw him off the building? Yes.
God.
I still have the car, too.
Yeah, I collected the Dr. X ones. Loved them. I think I had about 10 at one stage, like the electrical ones and the European exclusive, everything. And this just reminds me of those. Hands down, reminds me of those 90s Action Man. And look, they brought magic to my life. I did not hate them at all. But I think what these guys tried to do with this figure, I think the execution just could, even if they took the plastic mechanical parts and just painted it a chrome, at least, and added some black wash, it would look so much better. Nothing wrong with the portrait either. I think it's not too bad for what they were going for. I'm being very nice. But I try not to give these artists too much flack, because one, they are trying to get noticed. They are trying to attain licenses. But I think if they want to go to the extent of attaining more licenses and making more official product and having it sold globally on, a far more legitimate scale, I think they need to take feedback on board and work on it. I really do. A lot of these entities have come a long way in the past couple of years, and I think they just need to work on it.
I think your points are great. I think it is important for these artists to get projects that they deserve and help build their careers, but we have to appropriate them with the right companies, with the right product. Because if I'm getting a $350 figure with an artist that is still, learning the ropes and trying to prove themselves, it just doesn't go hand in hand. This release is a complete travesty. I have the one from 2010, and it is identical. I think the major change was a couple of tweaks on the portrait, and the hair strands there are separated, or are a lot more separated on the previous one. And then this one comes with some bonus, comes with the proof that Tony Stark has a heart, what do you call it?
Doesn't it come with dummy?
Arc reactor.
The arc reactor, thank you, Ben. And then it comes with the faceplate. This under no circumstances warranted a reissue. They didn't do enough. I would have liked to see some die cast possibly there, or a metal paint app to liven up that application there. The materials look the same. The belt, not leather, pleather. They did nothing. It's literally like they had extra stock, and they said, "Here you go." Or because that figure came out in 2010, that baby was going for, I think, 250, something like that. It wasn't much, but on the secondary market, he hit a good 650 easily. And that's fine. You want to do a 2.0 because it was released such a long time ago. Okay, we know your business practices. We know that's what you're gonna do to maximize the funds, but you gotta show some love to the release, and this didn't get a drop of it.
That's the most accepting of reissues I've ever heard you be, John.
You have
turning over a new leaf.
There's no other option. We're already in too deep, and I don't want to throw Hot Toys away. Like, I don't want to say I'm never going to collect Hot Toys again, because I was going through some of the old ones, and I just got a whole bunch of emotion and everything back into those original pieces I collected, and I don't want to throw Hot Toys. I'm in a silent protest, maybe, let's say that, where I'm not buying right now.
I think it's the chair. You're too comfortable to be pissed off.
It could be. I think it is. I'm almost falling asleep.
That's such a good mood.
Anything but silent about not buying Hot Toys.
You know what, Dean? Dean's still here?
The Clone Collector says if anyone has Solo Maul from Hot Toys, the detailing on the legs compared to this is night and day. I would even say, like, Leslie has the Terminator here, and, like, that's the quality that Hot Toys can do many years ago, right? Like,
phenomenal.
I don't understand how you get this beautiful... Cool. I mean, I wouldn't say it needs to be that chrome on something like this, but Hot Toys has incredible metal paint application. I don't know what they do. I've used some of the nicest chrome paints to try to touch up a damaged Hot Toy saber. I couldn't get it to look as good. It's really well done, and just how flat this looks. Granted, this is only one collector, so again, maybe there is some misstep here that this guy's got one that wasn't quite finished.
I don't know.
But
I would return this.
Benefit of the doubt. A lot of people said they were going to cancel from this.
I would return it, cancel it, and buy the original just to prove a point. And the point here is now you can get the original cheaper, and it's the same thing. I don't need that little exclusive thing because that does nothing. You can buy those off eBay. Return it and buy the original, so that hey, if you're going to do a 2.0, you better bring your A game.
I agree. They've got to justify those 2.0s for sure. And this is one that I haven't given up hope on. Zach, you said, okay, this is just one picture from one collector. I do need to see more. And I think a Sideshow maybe recently did their unsealed or it's upcoming. So hoping to collect some more data because this is one that I want. I think the deluxe is like 305. So it's like fairly reasonable. And I use quotes reasonable because if you ask Gigi, she's like, okay, get out of here. But
no, for what you get, it is.
Right. You know, for what we're getting nowadays, it feels like a DX plus. So like I really want that exclusive version from Sideshow. But it's disappointing to see these pictures because I was like, oh, you know, one other thing I have to say, sorry. Talking with some folks, they're like, hey, this figure is low stock already on Sideshow, the exclusive version. But then when I went to go look on my site, it didn't say anything about low stock. So, you know, we talk about Sideshow, you know, playing games. I don't know if that's, you know, just an error on my part, but I refreshed, I logged in, didn't see low stock at all. So something fishy there, something to monitor moving forward.
Definitely. Interesting. John, can we hear a quick word from our sponsors?
Are you sure you want me to read it or Ben? Just joking. Oh
my God.
Wow.
I'll fumble the ball. Don't worry about it.
That was a good joke. Wow. It took me a second there. That was great.
1/6 quarter their mission. Boy. Come on, Zach, you should know this is the...
Wow, John's
on the ball.
Dotting the I's and crossing the T's today.
So we want to thank... Exactly. 1/6 corner. Their mission is to provide the best figures and collectibles to their customers. They offer great prices, great packaging, fast shipping, and best in the business customer service. Collecting Weekly listeners get 10% off in-stock figures while our show is live using code capital C, capital W 10. Choose your figures, pay safely with PayPal, and you can leave the rest to them.
All right, let's hit the hot seat just for a moment. We'll burn through each of you guys' hot seat. 1 minute on the clock. Let's go, Dean the Dream Martin, for bonus point, or for points rather. What is one current design issue you have with 1/6 scale figures that you hope will see improved on going forward?
A design issue?
A flaw, something that needs to be improved, something that pisses you off?
One thing that really pisses me off, and they kind of go hand in hand, I'll give you two. Weak ankle pegs they have to do something about ankle pegs because they always fall forward. It's terrible. I don't know. It's like a ball peg, and sometimes the ball's too loose, and they just will not stand. Or figure out something to do with the bases because they're just terrible. They all kind of look different from each other. They don't all fit on the shelf. I would like some kind of slimmer design where, some kind of uniform between all figures that come with a similar base. Because even Hot Toys figures, all their fucking bases are different per figure in the same line.
I like what I heard there, Dean. Get you 2 bonus points there.
Nice.
Marco, for you, let's see here. With Kyrie losing his Nike deal and several other endorsements this past week, do you think that Interbay will cancel their figure they've announced of him, and why? And if you want to maybe tease out some extra bonus points, give me some substitutes that they might look into. Oh, yeah, maybe not the why, actually.
Okay, yeah. So, no, I will say, I think that 100% they're going to cancel that figure because, Kyrie was already kind of a divisive figure as of the last few years. He's had issues around vaccination. And so, he was sitting out games, that directly correlated to how many games he was on the court. And so I don't think we've seen enough of him recently to really put him in the upper echelon of NBA players. Now, he's incredibly talented, so no doubt about that. But obviously, kind of simultaneously with what's been happening with Kanye, I think companies are feeling a bit more emboldened to kind of separate from maybe speech that they feel is hateful and kind of, So I think some figures that could be replaced. I'm a big Kings fan. I would love to see De'Aaron Fox. Let's see, we've already got Luka coming out. Let's see, 76ers, so like Joel Embiid would be great. I know they're doing the starting lineup of him. That'd be a great one to see. And then I love Joker. So Jokic would be, he's just such a cool guy. So.
All right.
Damn.
3 points for you.
That was the right question for the right person. I would have said sports and had
Does anybody
45
work?
seconds to kill.
Jesus.
I know. All right.
It's time to watch all that sports.
You can watch it while you're driving, John. Let's see. Ben, now that InArt has shown their current progress on figures so far at their soiree events, what do you think Hot Toys needs to do going forward to stay on top of the 1/6 scale figure market?
Beautiful question.
Thank you.
I think Hot Toys definitely needs to start working on their rooted hair. I think the rooted hair for InArt is definitely amping up the game when it comes to the rooted hair, not only in the cut but also the material choices that they're using. I think Hot Toys needs to consider magnets with their wrist pegs. I think that additional hold and flexibility there is going to be important in the future. I also really like the magnetic bases. I think the fact that you can display a character now without that ugly ass crotch grabber on an InArt figure, as long as the ankles are sturdy, like Dean said, I think that will take figures to the next level. It'll make them look more like museum pieces and less like, well, a hunk of plastic holding a figure. So definitely the batteries, definitely the hair sculpt and the rooted, as well as magnets. And then lastly, I think being really selective about accessories, quality over quantity, I think is important.
All right, 2 points for Ben in the hot seat. John, I will have you sorted out in just a moment here.
Why do I get nervous for this? I don't know why.
That's hard.
You want.
Yeah.
You want.
I know, but still, we're like streaming. It's like I feel like I'm going to a job interview.
I ramble too. It's hard for me to keep shit under a minute,
No, you
John,
Ben.
Do you think Hot Toys' style of releasing figures with regular and deluxe versions should and would continue into 2023?
Oh, that's tough. I think, okay, I'd like to take this into two versions. I think they do. I think that it should remain, but they need to look at this in two ways. I think that the regular and deluxe is great, but they really need to make that deluxe worth it. Just like InArt has. InArt has made the deluxe where you're getting a backdrop with the Joker, for example, that's die-cast. Stuff like that actually adds value to picking up the deluxe. Another way I'd possibly like them to see another route is why not start numbering some of their releases? Stand out of the crowd. I know that's a way people want to move away from, but if you do a regular edition and then do an exclusive deluxe that's numbered, whatever, even if it's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, but at least have that numbered attachment to it, I think that's
Wrong
something.
button. Sorry.
Wow, look at the distraction. I get a
Keep
2
going. I'll
points
give
for
you a
that.
few extra seconds.
No, it's fine. I was pretty much done. I think having that numbered option would be good as well. As a deluxe, they have to amp up the deluxe option. I think they used to be with the DX, for example, Bespin Luke. That used to be awesome. 2 figures loaded for that price. They need to get back to that level for what we're paying today.
All
That was
two
like an
minutes.
extra
What the fuck
25
was
seconds.
No, I didn't get a point for that. I was just rambling at that point.
I broke his train of thought. That was
No,
I
please.
will
my
say
fault.
he's 100% right. The DX isn't the same anymore.
It's not.
It's like you have the regular release and then like an exclusive, and then they'll come out with a DX, which is just the exclusive with like rolling eyes. And sometimes the regular versions come with rolling eyes. So it's like, what the fuck is even the DX now? Comes in the same box. It's not even a different like delivery presentation. It's the same shit.
Wow. Leslie, hot seat time.
Yes.
Over the past several months, there have been reports of Sideshow canceling orders for Australian collectors for figures such as Arena Boba Fett and others. How have these cancellations affected Australian collectors?
Well, look, I think Australian collectors are affected full stop because of the import costs of figures. But with Sideshow cancellations, I mean, at the moment, figure delays kind of speak for themselves. So I do think that sometimes cancellations don't even really bother us, considering the delay period is usually now between a year to 2 years. So I think it's just a matter of who the collector is. It really varies. There's no one answer for every collector in Australia collectively. It pisses some people off and other people are prepared to wait. But we deal with import costs either way. So a delay is a delay. As long as we don't have to pay more for it, I think that's what Aussies are shitty about. And the flat button. The battery flat button. That's been banned. That's shit.
Oh, boy. All right. You guys did great. Look at that. You guys did
Well,
great.
yeah, because
today.
you came up with some good questions this time. It wasn't like I needed
Very good
an
question.
Ivy
dare you?
League college degree to get to answer the questions.
Dare you? I'm very excited. I spend a lot of time on these questions every week. To hear John compliment them is high praise. But I'm very excited for the end of the month for Jeopardy. I got some great questions.
I'm
you
excited
guys,
for that.
And I've taken all of your feedback into account. You only need a doctorate from an Ivy League school to answer at least one of them. Maju Case / Maju Space put up a when will my order ship video. We'll watch that and give some thoughts on it here. So let's play this. This is by Brian Wong, the founder of Maju Space.
Let's go.
Oh, I forgot I have freaking terrible internet when I stream. Maybe we're not going to watch it.
It's StreamYard, bro. It's not your internet.
It is
It's
StreamYard. Streamlight's
It is
ass.
StreamYard.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Brian, the founder of Modo Case, where we just rebrand to Modo Space. So the main key I would like to address today is to allow you guys to understand, like, why are my orders waiting for so long, and update you guys with regards to the improvement of our manufacturing, and most importantly, when will the back orders be cleared. So Modo Cases are done in Singapore. We purely manufacture in Singapore. So there's a sense of stubbornness in me which I want to keep this to be in Singapore. Because in Singapore it's able to manufacture within the control of the company, and we can oversee, especially the stakeholders and even the managers. So we directly manufacture here, and we do outsource in certain ways that we purchase from overseas, especially in Southeast Asia countries, for our raw materials. So nevertheless, COVID is definitely affecting us in terms of supply chain management. Yeah. So ultimately, we are still here, and we did a lot of manual manufacturing previously, in which that was the calling that we need to improve our manufacturing process, and on top of which we need automation to be involved. as we move on, and as back orders accumulated, and manufacturing and automation will be definitely the key that we have been focusing. That's why we have just moved to our new premises. Okay, the amazing question now and the final $1 million question is, when will you guys get your display? You guys will be receiving a mass email with regards to different batches of manufacturing, and we will send it out and we will do our best to fulfill all our back orders, and we are looking at to fulfill it by April 2023. So by April 2023, we should be near to an almost ex-stock state, or I would say maybe shorten the lead time to previously where we had was 2 months. So that is where we are working towards, and I totally have faith and confidence that my guys will be able to do it.
All right, so a rebrand, a goal to be at caught up by April 2023. I will be honest, I've been very interested in Maji Case. I've not yet placed an order. I cannot wait 2 days for a Prime delivery these days, so waiting a year is much too long for me in today's world. Not only that, but I've heard some not so great things from people who have got them. Parts didn't fit together. And I will say Brian and his team have been great. I've heard that they've had no issues getting replacement parts or new shelves sent. So there's no issue there. And this guy apparently is very active in communication. So I wish all the best for this company. For me, it's just the wait times are too long. If they can get it down to 2 months, a month, I think I'd be much more inclined to really take a hard look at them. At the moment, though, it's just too long of a wait for me. So, but I'm curious, has this? Do any of you guys have these on pre-order at the moment, or have any of you guys been considering? And this will now kind of tip you towards making an order.
So I recently put a small batch order in. So I think only 3 cases because I kind of want to start somewhere manageable in terms of price and space. And so again, you mentioned Brian. He's terrific when it comes to communication. His team was like super responsive. I did ask him, and this was about 2 months ago when I put the order, hey, should we expect quicker times? I know you've said that out in public. And he said, yeah, actually, you should anticipate somewhere around 6 months. So what they're putting out is like really jiving with what he said. And I'm really hopeful because I don't want to wait too long. I'm already out of space. I already have figures, kind of strewn around right now that, are not making me happy and obviously not making my significant other happy. So I need a nice, display area for everything. So yeah, really hoping that they can get this turned around. And I think you said 2 months. That sounds totally reasonable. Could give you time to pay them off because they're not cheap. But also, you're not waiting a year because a year is just, there's no way that someone could wait that long for cases. You can't plan that way.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in chat, Jazzy, said, nah, he said that before and still 1 year wait, and like me, 1.5 years.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? I don't, maybe not, but do any of you guys watch The Office?
Of course.
No.
It's amazing.
I've watched a few episodes, but not all seasons.
There's this arc where Michael Scott starts his own paper company. He calls it the Michael Scott Paper Company. And he gets in like this horrible financial situation. And he's like, you know what? I can just start a new company tomorrow. And he just like is planning to rename, like just make a new name up as if that clears all the negative stuff of the company. And it's a weird rebrand, to be honest. I don't know if there's any legal thing behind that. Maybe there's another company in the same space that had already a trademark on that name. It just I hate it, to be honest. I liked Maji Case a lot better. Maji Space doesn't have the ring to it. What do I know? I just
sounds like those pre-built box homes. It's kind of what it reminds me of.
But it sounds like you're filling up your. I don't know. I think I see what you're saying.
Case, though,
no,
right?
but you're filling up.
You're
filling up your space with a Maji Case. It has a good ring to it. You're filling up the space with the display cabinet. Yeah. Who knows? What I appreciate he did though, which a lot of companies don't do, is kind of take ownership and come out and say, yeah, there is a problem or there was a problem, but here's what I'm at least trying to commit.
Currently is a problem.
Well, I don't know because I haven't ordered, but
until shit starts shipping out, and people are getting their stuff. It's still a problem.
So he's come out and said, hey, by April 2023, we're planning up to clean up a lot of these back orders. Now he's gone and given us publicly on a video an expectation date. He's gone and shown us the factory and so forth, so we kind of get an idea. Who knows if that's actually what goes on in there or whatnot? We don't know. But as a figure, as the founder of the company, coming out and representing his company, I'd hope that he'd want to come out and state facts as opposed to just dreams to get the people to shut their mouths. So I can at least appreciate that, because there's a lot of companies that sweep the problems under the rug and don't address the community.
Yeah, again, you could say whatever it is that you want as the owner of the company and appease people. Like, oh, okay, cool. But until you start actually doing what you say you're going to do, it's still a problem. So come April, if people aren't getting their shit and people are still having to wait a year, that's why I never bought any Module cases. I was like, I'm not going to wait a year.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go buy some fucking bookcases or some fucking Detolfs, and I'll have them. I'll have my shit in my collection, nicely displayed, and I don't have to wait. So, if he starts cleaning up that timeline where I'm not waiting forever, like Zach said, like if I wait 2 days, I'm getting impatient.
Bro, Amazon did me dirty, bro. I had these Christmas lights that were supposed to be here 2 days ago at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But they're still not here
It's
yet.
like, yo, delivery says today, and I'm not going to get it until tomorrow. Like, fuck you. So,
Bro, I'm on the phone being like, send me another one, bro.
Well, I saw
Lost
someone
in space.
I don't remember who it was, but someone in the community had said that, I don't know who it was, to be honest, but I saw somewhere, maybe even in a chat, that they were expected to get their Module cases in August, already pushed up to March.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Something like that. So
Let's talk about this. How many is too many? Now, Marco had this great idea. We get so many versions of different characters, and he wanted to know, like, when is enough, right? And I think for me, for characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man, it's kind of hard because the variances, armor to armor are so different, right? Like, I think the last we saw is Mark 85, so in theory, there's 85 suits out there, right? But I think for me, it becomes enough when you have products sitting on the shelf and you're making a new version, then a new version of that certain product, right? We've seen it with Mando. We've seen it with Jedi Luke. We've seen it with the Mark V. We had the Mark V diecast and the diecast reissue, then the suit-up version, then the diecast reissue with the Formula One style base. I think for me, that's kind of where I start to get a little concerned that we're oversaturating with too many versions of the same character or the same outfit. I remember when Infinity War came out, and Howard had kind of gone out and said, which, isn't necessarily a golden, locked in stone statement, but certain characters would not get a remake because their outfits were so similar. Come to find out a few months later, there were some versions of characters that were kind of remade for that film.
Yeah, they did it anyway. Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, fucking everyone.
I think if you're making a quantifiable leap in quality, right, you're really innovating, like John always says, if you're really innovating, I think I could see some justification for it. But if you're doing, like John was saying with the mech test, right, you're just maybe doing a few tweaks and maybe a slightly better portrait. It does seem like a bit too much. But I'm curious what you guys think and what you guys have to say about this.
I misunderstood the question. I thought it was how many is too many for your collection.
Well, that's.
Did you write a dissertation, or can you?
Some things you can keep to yourself. You can improvise on the spot.
You can pivot on the fly, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Pivot, baby, pivot. I mean, you got to read the chat, bro. Marco said it like with gusto.
Zach praised him. It must be a good idea.
Okay, so does anyone else have a take, or we can move on?
Nope. Well, I think more than I don't know, just in general, even for your collection, we get back into the reissue talk. We get back into how many times can you do the same figure over and over again. Perfect example of that, Black Widow, Hot Toys Black Widow. How many of those have we seen? With some costume changes, little or no innovation. First we got the rooted hair, which turned out to be very like a Barbie doll. Then we got sculpted, and then just back and forth. But you can argue at the other end as well, as a Hot Toy collector, someone who's a completionist, would you not want representation from each film? Right? She was in all these films. Did you want, right? How do you choose as a company which Black Widow to give the fans? So it's tough. But this, like, what your point here is, if it's the same figure, like that mech tech, whatever it's called, that's unacceptable. That you should just do the one and move on. I don't mind. I've come to the realization that's fine. These companies want to do reissues and 2.0s. Okay, it's gonna happen, but fill in the lines that you've promised. Get the stuff out first, and then when it gets to that point where you're gonna replicate a figure, give us some innovation and really make it worth doing the 2.0, so that even that original collector will say, hey, you know what? I have this original one, but there's enough difference here where I can invest a little bit into this second rendition.
Makes a lot of sense, John. And really the genesis of the question for me was, I've got a lot of Mandos. Well, I have 2 Mandos so far. I'm obviously planning to get the chromed out version. So that's 3 already. I've got a few Spider-Man, I've got a few Iron Men, a few Captain Americas, and a few Boba Fett's. And chatting with Gigi, I was like, I want the Boba on Throne. I'm kind of waiting for that to go, 20 to 30% off. And she just said, I hate that for you. Why do you need so many guys with the helmet on? They all look similar. And she's not completely wrong. She's not crazy to have that thought, right? Because Mando is obviously derivative of Boba Fett. So I'm looking, and every duplicate figure I get is kind of an opportunity. There's an opportunity cost. That's a character from another franchise that I'm not getting, or a more diverse character that I'm not adding to the collection. So I'm kind of thinking, like, how deep do I want to go down one specific character line? For me, 3 kind of feels like the sweet spot, but it's obviously, if you find if they release a new version that you just love and you've got an emotional connection to, then, what's to stop you there? But yeah, I think 3 is kind of my stopping point for now, but yeah, open-ended.
I think the emotional connection side is the right note to hit on. I think it is really personal. I don't think anybody can tell you whether or not you have too many Boba Fett's or Spider-Man or Iron Man in your collection. I think if it's your favorite character, if you want to buy the same thing over and over and over again because it's what gives you joy and happiness when you go into your collection room, I think that's more important than necessarily like a quantity number associated with it. Whether it's 3 because it's visually appealing, or that's just the right number for Marco or not. Like, if Boba is one of your favorite characters, collect what's available. I think it's interesting when we were talking about the Spider-Man earlier, and I made the point of like, and it seems like sometimes like a cop-out answer of like, it's for somebody though, right? I said I would expect that a Spider-Man collector would still want that figure, and Badfish in the chat said, well, not really. Like, I'm a Spider-Man collector, and there's already enough suits that I don't feel like I need this one. And it was like, interesting, right? Would somebody say he's not a true Spider-Man collector if he doesn't have every Spider-Man in his collection? Probably, but that's clearly not the case, because if that one doesn't jive with him, then who cares, right? So for me, it's Batman. I have every version of Batman that comes out typically, but I only try and select the one that I think is the best representation. So I've modded my DX12, so I didn't buy the DX19. Just didn't feel like I need it. I feel like I already have that suit in my collection. Will I buy every other type of Batman that comes? 100%, because Batman's always going to be my favorite character of all time. Same with Joker. I want to have every type of Joker that's been out there, whether it ends up being the same character in universe or not. I want that in my collection. So,
and you got 2 of the same coming too.
And I got 2 of the same. That actually is something that bugs me a little bit, is the DX11 has the same outfit as the 2-pack that I'm getting from InArt. So now I'm going to have 3 of what feels like the same character, even though there's obviously a vast difference in quality and workmanship in those figures. I'm not sure what I'm going to do to display 3 of what feels like the same version of the character. So I'm breaking my own rule a little bit on that one, to be honest. Mark, you're 100% right.
It's funny when you say Batman, and I threw out the number 3, but that's bullshit, because I'm on my way to having 5, 6 Batman already with InArt, releasing more. So yeah, it's hard to say, but I think we're right on the emotional connection. If you've got it, then you can maybe justify adding that to your collection, because it's a personal choice.
There's only one Batman, Marco.
Michael Keaton. Batman?
No, it's whichever one you like, but there's only one.
There you go.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Keaton. What do you think?
What if you like them all?
Well, you better have a nice bank account.
I think reissues are an interesting topic to discuss each time, because a lot of people miss out sometimes. And then you've got new people just coming into the hobby who missed out on the previous issue. And I certainly know that there are quite a few people entering the hobby who missed out on Hela, who loved that figure, but now she's about 1,200 Australian on eBay, and people just can't, unfortunately, justify paying that. So I think in that context, I think reissues are great for that purpose. As far as 2.0s go, it's very difficult because, again, exactly what Zach said, they need to vastly improve upon the previous version to justify getting the 2.0, unless you actually really want to complete the line and get every one, like the 3 Batflecks. Some people want to just swap a few heads around. Some people want to swap a few capes around. They collect each one so that they can mod it accordingly, like Ben did with his baddie. So I think that 2.0s help in that sense. But when they release a figure where they barely improve upon it and it's just to pay for the production of a new product, I think that's when it starts to become a bit of a cash grab, and it ends up causing a little bit of a rift and controversy in their motivations for having that figure out in the first place. So I genuinely think, depending on the type of collector you are, it could genuinely go both ways.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Now,
Marvelous,
do you... Sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Jen.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, do you have any of the same character in your collection? Like, do you have multiple versions of the same character in your collection at all? Or do you try and do kind of one and done?
So we used to complete lines, but then we spiraled into an abyss of a black hole and just got everything regardless of how we felt about the character, and there became no attachment to them. So we just eventually decided to get one-offs of a particular line or show or film, and we find we're a bit happier. We don't feel so pressured to just get everything, but that's the kind of collectors and hobbyists we are.
It's just more tailored to who you are. If you have friends that walk into your collection room, you can be like, this is what means something to us in our life. And
exactly.
That's cool. Yeah, 100%.
That's exactly.
What were you going to ask? Yeah. What were you going to ask, John?
No, I don't want to backtrack. I don't want to take it to a negative direction. It's okay.
Not in that chair.
It's too comfortable.
Okay, so when Zach first brought the question in, he was making the point, like, if Hot Toys isn't going to improve it, then they shouldn't be making a second one. And then I said, oh, I thought the question was about our collections. And then Ben started talking about the point thought we were making, but I'm confused on what exactly the fucking topic is.
No, the question was, can you have too many of the same character? So I'm thinking, like,
I don't even know what the question was. Just answer it. Answer however you guys understood it.
Would I have Mark Bale's Batman? Would I have a DX12? Would I have a DX12 and a DX19?
Marco couldn't even talk because he was laughing so hard that I got it wrong. So which is it? I don't know what the question is.
That was legitimately.
I'm still trying to get past.
Okay, but so Ben starts talking, you don't correct him. So then now he's off topic.
We know Ben's a little bit. It just takes him a little bit longer to catch up. So I just let him go. But Dean, the way that I envision the question.
Last night.
Okay, to be fair, hang on, we're gonna have
how you meant it.
I'm still sitting here trying to understand how Leslie's okay with reissues, but that's fine. We won't talk about it. It's good.
Sorry, I have a sick child.
I'm not that old yet.
Step away for 2 minutes. Okay, here's I said, does anyone have a topic in mind? Margot says, how many figures of one character is too many? When I made the post, I understood that to be like, we're talking about the mech tests. We've talked about the Mark V last week. Like, how many of the same character to issue is too many? That's what I thought. So that's how I broached the topic. That's how I put it in the show notes. But if you guys are taking that a different direction, we are a podcast. We can pivot. If Dean wants to talk again, this isn't a big deal. Let's just, however you interpreted it, we'll just answer the question.
There's no meat left on the bone now. I'm just I was confused
1 minute on the
as
clock.
to what exactly it was.
1 minute.
Because I get blasted and roasted for a minute, and then you guys just do it anyways.
Dean, I was laughing with you, not at you, bud. Okay?
No, I'm not talking about you specifically. You're the one that you took the question the same as I did. So it's like, well, then when you started talking, I was like, well, what exactly is happening here? So
I'm dealing with a
confused,
sick
the
child,
listeners
and
are
I have Dean
confused.
texting me like, I'm like, I got medicine in one hand, I got
I
phone
am
in the
just
other.
saying, if I'm confused, the listeners are confused because you just made fun of me for asking that question.
I think Yomo
and then
said it
goes
best.
on a tangent.
The bed. First off, the Bed Thomas Show needs to be a sticker. The Bed Thomas Show strikes again. Okay, where are we at? I had to tune out for a minute. Where are we at here? Everyone's good. We're not good.
Yeah.
We're
still
at the end.
arguing?
It's
Dean
a shout out
can
time.
tackle the question
Perfect.
and how he feels is where I thought we
No,
left it.
I felt the same as Ben. So
Okay. All right.
That's why we're
Now
friends.
let's super happy fun time. Okay, Leslie, Marvelez,
Yes.
welcome. So we have obviously you've sat through the gauntlet so far. Hopefully you will come on another time. Hopefully we haven't scared you off yet. But
Absolutely.
tell us about yourself.
Myself. Geez,
Yes.
what would you like to know? It's a very broad question. I was born in South Africa. I'm not originally Australian. I'm Afralian. So I came here when I was 11, which is why I kind of have the Australian accent, but kind of don't. God, I did a bachelor in film in 2008. Sorry, I'm old now.
Hey now.
Yeah. What would you?
We're going to be the same age. Okay.
That's when the first Hot Toys came out. No.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe you were after more specifics, Zach.
Yeah,
I think
could-
that's a good way to broach that subject.
Yeah, I'll
As
narrow
I
it
thought you
down.
sounded Australian, to be honest.
Yeah, I just
I'll give
introduce
you-
a topic and then the waves, they come afterwards.
Yeah. So
You can
I'll
post
ask
that.
one question and it's got a sub question. So
Cool.
what are
Alright.
some of your favorite properties to collect, like Star Wars or Marvel? And then a specific character or figure that stands out to you as your favorite.
Okay, I'll answer my favorite first because that's easier, which is the 1/6 scale Yondu. I love that. Love that
Solid
dude.
choice.
Yeah, I love him. I loved the character. He was amazing in both the first and second one. Of course, resonated with him more in the second one. And that head sculpt of Michael Rooker was just beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful head sculpts I've ever seen on a 1/6 scale figure. Look, he doesn't come anywhere close to you. You're a quarter scale, so that doesn't count. But that's definitely my favorite. No contest at all. And my favorite properties. It's a tough one because I love the Hot Toys figures of The Empire Strikes Back. I love them so much that I have pretty much all the bounty hunters and all the characters in 6-inch form from Star Wars Black Series. That's how much I love them. But the Empire Strikes Back line nowadays is not only hard to find, but the Han Solo and Chewbacca that we used to have, the material was so old and worn that it just kind of withered away in the box. And it was the same with our Indiana Jones figure, unfortunately. It was very sad. But look, the original Star Wars would have to be my favorite property. Marvel was my favorite until it became so broad. It became incredibly broad and varied that we just couldn't keep track. And although a lot of the figures in the Marvel line and even the DC line, God damn it, there's too many. Even the Marvel and the DC line, they became very broad as well. And now with the recent Star Wars, they're broad, just a lot of beautiful new characters coming into the woodworks. And yeah, Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, Hot Toys for me. But I really didn't mind the 3-0 Transformers line. That was quite lovely. I just panicked when I held them, kind of. Because although they look beautiful and they've got some lovely weight from the die cast elements, I felt like I was going to break them and I couldn't pose them very much. I don't see them as very posable figures. So that would have been my second choice a while back. But yeah, no, ESB. ESB Hot Toys, guys.
Amazing answer.
Yeah.
Amazing. John, you're up next.
Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, no
Oh
problem.
my God, Ben. Thank you so much, Ben. Jesus.
No worries, buddy. I got your back. Looking out for you. You're on the comfy couch. I was making
I
sure.
was dozing off. I'm sorry. I didn't know where I was for a second. I was in the multiverse. Leslie, can you tell us how things are different as an Australian collector?
Oh, goodness. I mean, it really varies. I mean, when I first started collecting, firstly, I had no idea who to collect from. You know, there's a lot of retailers out there now who want to be part of the 1/6 scale game. And it was easier for me to get Marvel Legends and Black Series because that's how I started. I started with 6-inch, you know, and being in Australia, I'm not going to lie, it is very expensive. I mean, when I compare prices from Toys Wonderland, say, right, if I look at the regular version cable, it's 200 I think 70 Australian dollars, which is very agreeable, and that's before shipping. And then shipping, I think, is about 30 Australian. So that equates to just over 300. But when you look at Pop Culture, which is Australia's #1 site for collectible figures, 1/6 scale, quarter scale, 6-inch, 7-inch, you name it, that's the place you go. Because the import fees are included and the entity is trying to make a profit on top of that, they do end up being considerably more expensive. And then again, like I said before, we had the button batteries recently be banned. And every time it is sad. You know, like if I did purchase this guy, if I did try and purchase this guy from overseas, they'd take the batteries out.
That's crazy.
You know, and it is very sad. You know, if I had to say anything to Hot Toys, it would be for them to actually understand that struggle and to actually change, you know, the source of the electric magical power. Make them USB or USB-C powered. I think that would help a lot of people globally, not just us. But it is a bit more expensive. A lot of figures are harder to come by, especially exclusives. It's just a bit more of a struggle, and it's the same, I think, for some UK places as well. But yeah.
Well, I also want to ask, actually, how do you replace watch battery? How do you tell time? No, I'm only kidding. That's just a little joke.
No, it's a great point, but I have a Garmin, so I don't need to.
It's the smartwatches over there now. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to finally just ask you tell us a little bit about your channel, because it is such a great channel, and the content that you're focusing on it and making.
Yeah, sure. So my channel is mainly focused around 1/6 figure news, as well as informed content and investigative pieces, like in art, for example, which I really enjoy. Them all like essay pieces and, you know, utilizing, you know, footage to entertain as well as inform the audience. And I love doing 1/6 scale figure news. It's what I used to do on Justin's channel way back in the day. I really enjoyed it. I missed it. You know, and I love having fun with it. I love talking about figures. And
I thought I recognized you. I didn't realize that's where you were from. Okay. I've connected the dots now.
That's it. That's what I'm doing here, Marco.
Case closed.
But yeah. And it was, Jesus. But thank you. I appreciate that. I lost my train
You also
of
have
thought.
your music
Sorry,
series.
No, it's okay, Marco. It's totally fine. Yeah, so I recently started uploading a few music clips. I didn't necessarily want it to be a music channel. I didn't want it to deviate from my main focus, but the first clip I uploaded was very well received. And I only wanted to do pop culture and film related soundtracks because I love those the best and I enjoy singing. So I thought, well, I'll filter it out. I won't flood the channel with it because I want to have a healthy balance of the content that I create. And my 1/6 figure news is going to be on Batman Statue Collector's channel as well for the licensed products. But I've decided to maybe do third-party figures on my channel at the moment because Chris can only have licensed items on his channel at the moment because he's a Sideshow affiliate. So I don't want to get him in trouble. I do a few customs here and there. I've got a bit of an artsy side, so I love putting. Yeah, I love putting paint to plastic sometimes. I really enjoy it. I do. I used to have an art channel, drawing channel, but I enjoy creating this kind of content a lot more.
We need to get her on Let's Draw. We have to get her on Let's Draw.
Or the joy of hopping live. Let's fucking go.
Hey, there you go.
Yes, absolutely.
Been really into Warhammer lately.
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, I'm working on a few series of my own, a few streams, where I'll be having people on. I always said that 300 subscribers was my goal, and I'm not sure if I've hit that already. I haven't checked, but. Yeah, it's really exciting. And I do Rise and Chai with Lael over at 1/6 Scale Man on my Friday mornings, his Thursday nights. And I do a show with Reviews with Rich, where we just talk film and talk shop, which is really nice. And that's on my Wednesday mornings, his Tuesday night.
It looks like you have hit 301 subscribers.
Hey.
So we dropped your
Oh,
link there.
wow. Thank you.
Let's make sure that we subscribe
Thank you,
to
guys.
Leslie's channel. We'll get her hopefully more than 301 by the end of this.
So, a follow-up question. You alluded to some of the goals that you have, for expanding the channel. What are some other goals for the channel in 2023?
Oh, look, I'd love to keep doing more film essays. I really enjoy being creative with my words, and I love films. I really do. I would love to see it grow, and I would love to help others grow as well. And I think, just be a pillar for each other, in the YouTube world, because it's definitely not just me. I mean, it's, I'm not the only one trying to grow. There's hundreds of thousands of channels out there, and I would really love to see my channel in 2023 be embraced, as far as the content that I'm putting out with regards to figures and film and possibly music. We'll see how that goes. But I think it's there's no harm in wanting to see it succeed in the right way, in the proper way.
Is that what you'd say is kind of like your favorite part of content creation then? Or like if you had to kind of put words to it, what would be your favorite part of content creation for people or for yourself?
My favorite part of content creation is that it really satisfies my creative side, and especially in the digital space. I love clipping clips together. I love telling stories. I love entertaining people as well. I just find it to be so much fun, and I've really enjoyed meeting so many people along the way, fellow content creators and very, very talented people, artists, and it's been a very rewarding experience, and I'm very sad that I left 2 years ago, but I'm very glad that I came back
100%.
because I missed it.
Awesome.
I really did miss it.
I think that's a great question. What brought you back? Because when we first met, I was like, I feel like I've heard of you before, but it was kind of around when we had kind of first started dipping into the 1/6 Scale weekly news, and then you were like everywhere, and then we hadn't seen you for a while, and when you popped back up, I was like, oh yeah, that's Leslie, but we hadn't became acquainted yet. Was there like something that it happened, you're like, I'm coming back, I'm gonna do it, or was it just sort of a gradual thing?
Well, what happened was I took a break to get my own mental health in check, because I think we can all agree that at times this community can take it out of you, especially if you put yourself on the line of being an outlet for various collectors. And that's what I did. So I took a break. We got a dog. And I really enjoyed watching him grow up. I experienced a few things on my hiatus, which put a lot of things into perspective for me. And, I realized that I was missing that satisfying creative juice that just fueled me. And I've kept in touch with Justin over the years. And, I said, look, I'm thinking of creating the news again on my channel with your blessing, because I used to be on his, and he's swamped nowadays, and he really doesn't need any more content on his channel. He's got his own. So I really missed doing the news. I loved the research part of it. I loved the figures part of it, and seeing what, companies were releasing, 2 years down the line, if they'd improved, if they'd, done anything engineering wise. And I think, what I told myself was that I shouldn't have let certain dramas and toxicity ruin something that I found genuinely fulfilling and fun to do, something that I genuinely enjoyed, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just create a faceless Instagram, ease myself into it very slowly, just create whatever content I want, post whatever I want, and let the chips fall where they may. And I started to enjoy it a lot more. And I noticed that when I just focused on myself and what I was doing and didn't get involved in any other personal what have yous in the community, I was in my element and I really enjoyed it again. So I stuck with it, and here I am.
I love that outlook. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you came here and you agreed with reissues. Now I'm stressing out. Like, oh.
John's going to need to take a mental health break.
It depends.
Go ahead, Marco.
That's awesome.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, apologies here. I think I've got the last question. So what other channels have you been on if people want to see more of your content?
Look, I will have more 16 figure news up on Super Chat. Do you want to read that out quickly?
No, we'll get to that after. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. I'll have more episodes 16 figure news up on Chris's Batman Statue Collector channel. Again, just the licensed stuff. I do a weekly show with Lael, 16 Scale Man, and a weekly show with Reviews with Rich. And I will, of course, be doing my own content. I was, of course, on Justin's channel a few eons ago, which was really fun. But for the moment, I'm just not necessarily trying to stay low key, but I've become really smashed and slammed with time. So I'm just taking it easy. Lots of invitations, which is great. I'm really enjoying meeting, a broader section of the community. I was with Ian Logan just over the weekend, another fellow Aussie. We did Pose Up together, which was really fun. Of course, Shane reached out to me. He was the first one to reach out to me on 16 Figure Focus. And we just had a really decent chat. It was great to meet him. So I've featured on his channel with Visions once before. It's been a busy 3 to 4 weeks, I'd say. But yeah, and now you guys. So it's been a pleasure.
Save the best for last.
I'm
just kidding. Hopefully this isn't your last time here on Collecting Weekly. And
of course.
Again, we'll drop your link there in the comments. And
Thank you.
Leslie's a great content creator, very professional. We were chatting before the show, and we're kind of laughing at some of the things our cohorts do, and it kind of stress us out as creators. And definitely look forward to what you have.
And I'm sorry, Zach, I think the handle's wrong because I actually recently changed it. YouTube actually let me. I think it's Marvela's official 1. But just check because it should be.
Yeah,
I don't know if people can find me on there. with that
Yeah,
one.
when I go to your YouTube and copy the link at the top, it's that one.
I think there was a
Okay.
period of time when you transitioned
Yeah, it takes about a
from one
week.
to the other.
Right.
You
Okay.
could
As
get
long
it
as
from
it's
both.
as long as it still works, I'm stoked. So
Yeah,
thank
I think
you.
you got like 10 subs in that during our interviews, so that's great. So we
What?
appreciate you guys that tuned in to Leslie's
Thank you
content.
guys.
We will
That's lovely.
this will stay baked into this episode, but we'll also like cut it out and also link you there, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more exposure
Baked
there.
in. Now I want
But,
Thank you
cookies.
guys. And thank
there
you
you
for
go.
being such gentlemen today. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. We turned it down today, to be honest, because we're
Well, John did it.
respectful.
Well.
Well, now this happened. Thank you, Lane, for the super chat, and thank you for the chat for letting us know while we've been live. Black Panther Hot Toys
Oh,
from
look
the
at that.
Wakanda Forever film. Now, I cycled through the photos. I don't see any portraits that might indicate spoilers.
No. They blocked
Hopefully
it out.
they'll. Yeah, they did block it out. So hopefully they will save that until people have had a chance to see the film. So let's just cycle through these quickly before we talk about The Foreigner. Got that black and gold suit. I love to see that.
The anatomy looks nice on that photo.
It does look nice. It does look
This
nice.
looks sick right here. That pose with the cannons.
That
I
is
know, I hope-
beautiful.
Yeah, I hope that they don't eat into the arms like some of their past releases have.
Yeah.
But man,
Oh, they
this looks
slide down.
clean. Oh, they do. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool.
That is neat.
This is a nice
Is that
series.
This is a great
spoiler?
anatomy
I
here.
guess that's not.
It is kind of well.
It's a bit of a
yeah,
spoiler,
Yes,
I think.
yes, it
Have you
is.
seen it yet, Leslie?
I'm seeing it in
It's out already?
just under 3 hours, actually.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm impressed with their Black Panther figures of late.
Yeah, they're really
They're
cool.
doing an amazing job.
I hope they tease the Ironheart soon. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a must-have too. Come on, Namor.
Is she in this?
Damn, look at
already?
them. Yeah, Riri. Yeah,
Wow.
Okay.
yeah. She has 2 suits in the movie.
Those poses are fire.
I know these are actually really.
are.
Oh my god! Look at this silhouette too. God damn.
The suit will be under fire too once
You
after.
think they'll sculpt
It'll be underwater.
The movie comes out?
I hope they wait at least 2 weeks. But yeah, typically with spoilers like that, they'll give us about a month
Yeah,
or
no,
so.
that knee, that won't last. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Jesus
way.
Christ, you could see it already.
Yeah,
too.
that's not.
Hope yeah, so it
Incredible.
looks like that's what
Oh,
it
yeah,
comes
there you
with
go.
the weapon and then the head sculpt coming soon. In fact, let me refresh the page and see if they've
Price
added
point?
anything.
Because it doesn't look like there's too many accessories there. You're really paying
I'm
for the
thinking
portrait.
275, 280.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
That's
what
fair.
I'm thinking.
Wasn't the Chadwick 285, and that came with like a fair amount of stuff. It's probably a bigger figure overall, so I think that's a good assumption.
Yeah. Now that you say that,
265.
I bet they go
Yeah,
pretty
there's
deep on this line, though. There's a lot.
265.
that
We got to
could
do a
come out of this
prices
film.
right at some
Yeah.
point. That would be fun.
Yeah,
Ooh,
actually,
I like
good
that
idea.
idea, Zach.
That might
Very
be
good
an
idea.
idea there. Now, our movie of the week, and again, thank you guys for sticking with us. The Foreigner. Kwan is a humbled London businessman whose long-buried past erupts in a revenge-fueled vendetta when the only person left for him to love, his teenage daughter, dies in a senseless act of politically motivated terrorism. His relentless search to find the terrorist leads to a cat-and-mouse conflict with a British government official whose own past may hold the clues to the identities of the elusive killers. First off, this movie is fucking incredible. Big shout out to Bob Dylan on Pose Wars. Was I think this was his backup figure was Kwan, and oh my god, I didn't know what to expect. Right, I'm a big fan of Jackie Chan. He's starred in some of my favorite films, but this to me was like a real. I don't sound like a douche, but like it felt like I was watching a film. Like normally he's kind of like in these like comedy fighting films. Like it's kind of not super serious.
It wasn't
but-
a Rush Hour.
Yeah, boy, when he's in his, I guess like his apartment in the beginning of the film, and this tragedy has happened, and he's just like sitting there. Boy, that's some range right there.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that was incredible. Jackie Chan is just the ultimate badass, and I think he shows it off well. Pierce Brosnan also, he's both a really good part of this movie and, in my opinion, the worst part of this movie. His accent, honestly, is so bad. It took me out of like almost every. He's like, this fucking wanker called me, and he just has this terrible Scottish accent.
Every time he ends on a high
with
note.
He brings it up.
Yeah,
Brosnan?
his inflection goes up
Yes.
every single time he ends a sentence is on a high note. It's so weird.
When he's in that
I
boardroom
thought
in
he
the
did
beginning
well.
of the film, it's so like palpably bad. And what I love about this movie,
They
to
come
be
in
honest,
here and they steal our syntax.
I'm watching the movie saying, "Wow, he's doing a great job," and you guys are saying completely opposite.
gotta change your destiny.
I didn't hate
If
it.
you
either.
change
wanker
your
It was
fate,
better than
me.
Bond.
do it.
And insulted
James
me.
Bond.
Now, I gotta say, outside of the accent stuff, this movie, I really appreciate when movies show you things and they don't just tell you things. Like the movie takes all of like 40 seconds to get going, and I really genuinely appreciate that. And it's just like you learn everything you need to know in such an organic way. And honestly, this is I watched it alone for movie of the week. Vivi's been sick, and so we've kind of been switching off with her. But I'm excited to sit down and watch it with Victoria, because this was one of the better films I've seen recently. And honestly, I'm going 10 out of 10. It was fucking awesome.
Really?
This
Bro.
movie is fucking awesome.
Who picked this movie?
Well,
Zach
I
did.
technically picked it, but
You picked
but
it?
because of Bob
Bob
Dylan.
Dylan. Yeah.
Okay,
Bobby
recommended
D.
this movie was so...
Apparently 310 is what people are saying for this studio
God
here.
damn, that's high.
Sorry, Dean.
I did not expect this movie to be as much of a banger as it was.
Facts.
Kwan is clearly the main character of the movie, but for majority of the movie, he's off screen doing like some crazy shit. And when he first started like setting up that like makeshift bomb in the bathroom and stuff, I was like, where the fuck did he learn this? Like, he's like a kitchen guy.
Yeah, he's like he owns a restaurant.
just a normal dude. And then it isn't until much later, and you see him do some like crazy fighting, disarming people, knocking them out, like setting up all these traps.
and stuff, dude.
And I was like, where the hell did this guy learn this stuff? And then they unveil it in this really cool, like, Pierce Brosnan's character is like doing all these email things. And I was like, oh shit. Like, he's not an average dude at all. But I thought it was an interesting take that he's not, I mean, you do see a lot of him, but a majority of the story, he's not on screen. And the people that are carrying the story also don't really know what the fuck is happening. So they're piecing it together along with the audience. And Kwan is in the background, and you're just like, where is he? What is he doing? And then boom, he pops up. You're like, how the hell did he get there? It's such a cool experience to watch.
When he's
'Cause-
kissing that girl in the restaurant, and then he gets the text.
Oh,
like,
that was
names.
amazing.
I was like, bro, he fucking got.
Got
and
it,
then
dude.
I gotta say, shout out to the writers. He's like, bro, did you kill my dog? And he's like,
Yeah,
the
no,
dog. I was
yeah.
like, oh my god, he
That was good.
this monster.
Yeah, dude, 100% when the dog wasn't moving, I was like, yo, there's no quicker way to get me to hate somebody than to have them kill a dog. And then he's like, you killed my dog? He's like, no, he's sleeping. I was like, oh, thank God. Because he does make a huge effort not to kill people. He sets traps and stuff, but it's really designed to send a message, not
Yeah.
kill
Like,
people.
it's like Batman.
Yeah, and so you're kind of like, oh shit, he's like at least compassionate, right? He's not going to do to hit other people what was done to him, right? Kill their loved ones or their friends or whatever.
Real quick, Dean. Leslie has a meeting she has to get going to.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna say bye to Leslie. We'll drop your link again, and we'll hopefully have you on
Yeah, let's
again
see,
here
where are you
soon
at
on
now?
Collecting Weekly.
Nice to meet you,
That would
Leslie.
be
You're
that
at
would be great,
311
guys.
subscribers.
I know, and thank you so much to everyone for that. I really appreciate the support. That's amazing. It's been, can I just say, it has been such a pleasure chatting with you guys. You are all phenomenal. And I'm always open to another invitation.
Hey, we have to get you back at the end of the month for double or Final Jeopardy.
Now,
Final
Leslie,
sounds great.
Before you go, favorite channel you've been on so far? No, I'm only kidding.
Favorite channel?
Jesus Christ.
We just lost
Oh,
points.
don't do that.
I want
Don't
to do that. All right.
All right. Have a good
Nice to
one.
meet you,
Have a good rest of
person.
your day. Enjoy the film, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Yes.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, there we go. Dean, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Because it's like 16 hours ahead, so I think they're in the middle
Yeah,
of work
yeah.
right now.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so it's just a really interesting way to watch a movie where you're not really with the main character a lot. And I just really loved it because, I mean, really nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Everyone's pointing fingers. You're trying to like piece it together before them, and then when it all comes ahead, you're like, "Oh shit, that was crazy!" It was so good. I loved it. I can't believe I took this long to see it.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I'm genuinely
Me
pissed.
too.
Like when you think like Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan, like, come on, that's dynamite right there. I don't know why the fuck I haven't watched it yet. You guys gotta watch it.
2017 is when it came out, so yeah, you're right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Jesus.
old.
We're getting
I didn't
old.
think it was
I thought
that
this was a
old.
new movie.
No.
No.
7 out of 10 on IMDb, 66% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Dude.
which is disappointing.
Disappointing.
Did it say how long it is? An hour and 56. Not bad. I enjoyed it. It was. I really like Pierce Brosnan as an actor. It's actually funny that you bring this up because Friday on Club, we did a off the table between who was your favorite 007, Pierce Brosnan
Nice.
or the other Craig guy.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel
Not
Craig.
Daniel Craig, that's for sure.
Yeah, I like Pierce Brosnan. I went with the classic Pierce
He's my
Brosnan.
favorite,
'cause-
too.
Anyways, he's really good, and I'm actually want to watch Black Adam now because of him. But anyways, Jackie Chan, great performance. Very tough pill to swallow in the beginning with the daughter, and how the guy, like, the writers were really good and paid attention to every detail. When he's taking the photos of the crime scene, the journalist, and then he zooms in and you see him holding the daughter, like that was a punch to the gut. But even when the guy on the motorcycle, you see him drop the keys, and then they use that as the evidence after with on his hand he has that scar, stuff like that. I liked how Kwan's character was very smart and ahead of them. They were ahead of Pierce Brosnan and the IRA the entire time. The entire time he was ahead. When that guy tripped in the woods, hit his head, and then he just lifts the cover and puts it over. I was like, wow.
Classic.
Yeah. Really good movie. I think I'd watch this one again. That's how good it was. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Good pick, Zach. It's about time.
All right. So I'm going to keep this short because I'll probably get canceled for about time. That's awesome. Probably going to get canceled for this, but I think I've seen just one too many in this genre. And another movie, kind of in a similar vein that didn't connect for me, and I think I'm the only person on the planet, John Wick.
You said John Wick. Oh, you
Wow, I never watched that.
I want to love John Wick. So, and I own like 1 through 3 of the Blu-rays. I was like, okay, everyone says these are phenomenal. There's no way I'm not going to like this. I saw the first one and I was just like, it didn't like live up to the hype for me. So I think I've just seen one too many because there's a lot of movies like in these type of revenge movies that I really do enjoy. But it just didn't necessarily hit for me. Fine film, like definitely worth a watch. But again, to me, that like genre is a bit tired and just like very like, I don't know. We've seen Clint Eastwood do this. Everyone does this type. But it is a good vehicle to kind of get these aging stars back out in the spotlight. So I would love to see Jackie Chan more often. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to rewatching both John Wick and this and seeing if a second watch, maybe with lowered expectations, could help me out.
I think if you like Jackie Chan and you're like, oh, Jackie Chan, like that's, you can close your eyes and you know what you get out of Jackie Chan, then this movie is going to blow your socks off because it's not what you might expect. I expect Jackie Chan to be kind of his happy-go-lucky self. Like, he takes a brick to the face and he's like, oh, my face, and he's just so happy in his action scenes all the time. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's, I don't think he's ever done that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's Home Alone, buddy.
Have you ever seen some of Jackie Chan's bloopers?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh, when
totally
he does the Italian accent. Oh, my face.
He does.
Very
Anyways.
nice. He talks like Borat.
I didn't realize I did an Italian accent. I hate to see it. But man, is Jackie Chan depressed in this movie, which is actually pretty hard to watch. He's really old. He's super grizzled now, and he's like, I think it's funny because they kept kind of calling him old and throughout the movie, but like Pierce Brosnan's like the same age. I'm like, what? Yeah. Why do you keep calling him the old man?
He hopped out the roof and like a monkey. I was like, God damn.
Right?
Yeah. Also, like, I didn't think you could still say Chinaman.
Well, it's 2017.
That's the name of the original book.
I know, but I was
okay.
just like,
oh, I didn't know it was based on a book.
It was called The Chinaman originally.
Yeah, it says at the end of the credits.
Yeah,
you think I watched the credits?
I figured they would change.
I watched the credits. Are you kidding me?
I was surprised they said it too, though, Dean.
Because they changed the name of the movie.
Because they changed it to The Foreigner.
Yeah. Pull it and not say that phrase one more time, though. Just
also is super weird because he's not a foreigner. He's a British citizen. I guess because
he was a foreigner.
Yeah, he was
in the beginning.
When do
he
you
was
stop
in
becoming
Saigon.
a foreigner? That's the question.
Well, once you become a citizen, you're not a foreigner. You're a citizen.
Well, that's true too.
What would Greg Abbott say about that?
But I guess
Jesus
no,
Christ.
because Ireland's part of the UK, which I guess is the point of the movie.
See, I use an Italian accent; it goes totally sideways.
He is also an American soldier, so I'm kind of confused.
Christ,
so is he also? Do you have to be a citizen?
Dean, you're still talking. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of the movie.
I have no points. No, you know what? I always thought you were going to say Taken was something similar because I thought Taken was where we get kind of the revenge action style that I was expecting, and then it also kind of transitioned into like the political thriller, which I thought was interesting. It had almost kind of two kind of tones to it. But I thought.
Slut. Ireland is not part of the UK.
I'm asking.
Well, technically, Northern Ireland is, so it's still considered Ireland. So he's not. He just.
So what's the deal with South Ireland? They're just not.
It's like
cool
a
with
north.
South?
It's like a South Korea sort of thing. I think.
Is it really? Wow.
I have no idea.
I haven't hated henchmen this much in a while. The IRA, those guys were dicks. You know, like they just like. Just talking about their counts and just like I wanted Jackie Chan to get them, but they also were kind of dumb, like they almost to the point of being kind of tropish, like they were real dumb henchmen, I thought. But I loved Pierce Brosnan. I liked whenever Jackie Chan was able to get away, and the henchmen would have to go back and talk to Pierce, and it was like, what? Like, how'd you let him get away? Sort of feel, right? So I think that's actually Pierce's real accent, though, or I at least thought it was, because I think
he's British.
I think he's Irish.
I think he's British.
I couldn't be right.
I could be wrong.
He's been practicing his American accent for so long.
The West.
Is he a northern or a southern?
Yeah, guys, we're not here. We're not geography.
He is an Irish actor. Maybe
is he?
Yeah. Maybe that's just how I thought.
I think that's his.
He sounded genuine.
That's his real voice.
But there are some Americans that sound like dinguses. So I mean,
well,
you just might have a bad accent.
3 on the panel.
Jesus Christ,
bro! If that's his real accent, he needs to get a new accent.
Have y'all seen Wisconsin? Listen to Dylan talk sometimes.
Like, Wisconsin.
RAV4?
Dude, I went and I got that figure. I put it in the bag.
Can I get a bagel?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I went to Tim Hortons the other day, honestly.
Jesus, your voice cracked so bad.
I went to Tim Hortons the other day. I asked for can I get a bagel with cream cheese? She's like, here's your bagel. I'm like, what is that? I didn't order that.
Well, we learned a lot about national geopolitics. Marvel says you're not geographers, just Americans.
I'm Canadian. I'm safe.
Yeah,
Marvel
I don't have
Legends.
to concern
I'm
myself
safe.
with the rest of the world.
Well,
I always say, Dean,
Just
there's
the
two kinds of
Canadians,
countries: those that have been to the
bastards.
moon and those that haven't.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's worth watching the movie. That's my final point. Watch the film. It was cool. It was better than I expected, and it's not what you get.
Great.
And don't just watch the trailer to judge it, because honestly, I think there's more meat on the bone than the trailer offers.
Don't do what Marco did.
It's all in good fun, Marvel Legends.
Cliff notes.
Yeah.
I saw Marco's YouTube history, The Foreigner in 5 minutes. The Collecting Weekly Awards are live. You can nominate for a chance to win a $50 gift card. The winner will be selected December 13th. We also... No, I can't say that. We have some great stuff planned for December. That's all I can say. We're still dotting the I's and crossing some T's, but nominating will also get you some bonus entries and some other things. So scan that link. It takes about a few minutes to fill out the form, and you might walk away with a cool $50 towards your favorite collectible company. Dean, can we thank the three pillars here, the Patreonies, the Sweet Angels, to keep the network on?
Yeah. Before I do that, do we figure out what movie was next?
That is your choice, my friend.
Does everybody have Amazon?
Not anymore, but I can.
Everyone's
I can
Amazon
I
is
can
different,
reapply
but
for it.
What do
I
we
watched
got?
this the other day. I bought it for $3. It's fucking awesome.
Is that a
movie.
VHS?
Never watched it.
No, it's a DVD. Regular
You guys have
quality.
DVDs still? It's like it's a Betamax.
Yeah.
I also watched Godzilla, the Matthew Broderick one.
Oh, the best one.
$3.
Bussin' film. That's a
That's my
banger.
childhood right there.
No, I wanted to watch the Northman.
The fuck is that?
Isn't that a series?
It's the
No,
TV
a
series?
Viking
it's the
movie.
foreigner's cousin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is? He's from Northern Ireland.
No, he's definitely not. It's called Northman.
The Northman.
Yeah. It just came out. It's,
I was thinking of something different.
This, I don't know.
I think I've seen
Okay.
it actually.
Sure.
it's a banger. It's so good.
Okay.
Why
see
are
if
you
I-
being this way?
I'll see if I get it.
No
if
one
I
said
have it.
shit to you.
He wants to
Well,
watch
because
it.
my movie was great. I mean, come on.
This one's great too.
Okay, can we talk about these pillars though, who are also great?
Okay, I just want to make
Fuck,
sure that
man.
we can watch it.
Hold on a second. Nicole Kidman. Fuzz. Who else is this? Ethan Hawke. What's his
Alexander Skarsgård, bro, the son of
Hey, nice.
Bill Skarsgård.
yeah,
name? Bro, I
the
don't know.
guy who
What?
plays what's his
In
name?
True Blood?
Andor.
It. What?
The old guy in Andor, the one that finds Cassian.
Okay, how about we don't spoil
Okay.
it?
Yeah, let's.
That's
let's
in
get
the
to those
first
pillars.
episode.
Let's get to those pillars though. Fuck, dude.
No spoiler.
Someone else gonna start
it's in
reading
the
these,
fucking
or-
You're on
trailer.
target.
Jesus.
I didn't watch any of it.
Sean
That's your
Fear,
fault.
Ian CB, Renee
Yeah,
Mendes.
Yeah,
Sean-
come on. Fuck.
Sean Fear, Ian Stevie, Renee Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Valen, Serena Ben, Thomas Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Giss, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krepp, Big Ol' Fern, King Zach, Caesar Merriquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Aled Morgan, Tukathri Watt, Derek B., Eris Portillo, Pablo Meza, Carlos Saavedra, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Mathon, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Stephen Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judge Menzel, and Brenton Palmer.
Bunch of
What a bunch of
sweet
sweet angels.
angels. Our November Patreon benefits, the CW Philo sticker and the new This Week sticker. Now, these likely will both be holographic, so a little extra bang for your buck for November. And these will be shipping with December. We have made some changes to our Patreon, so let's explain those for you guys here. So we added a tier, and we raised the price of one of our tiers. We had some talks with the Patreonies, with inflation, sticker prices, shipping prices, all the prices of everything going up, and a lot of our income going down. We did have to make a little bit of a change here. So we have the hot seat starting at $5. Show your support for the Empire and get all of the digital benefits, Ox After Dark, the Patreon chat, and the weekly shout out. The Sweet Angel, which is
And the Discord.
and the Discord, which was once $5, is now $7.50 per month. Same benefits as always: the stickers sent straight to your door and access to Ox After Dark replay. The stickers will now be sent every other month, and starting in December, we'll be doing one design per month. The Certified Crispy, $15 a month as the Certified Crispy certificate, figure fix assistance, and all the benefits of the previous tier. The $25 What a Guy tier, the Deluxe Pog set on your first pledge, doubles of all the stickers we send, and all the benefits of the previous tiers. So again, the only changes we made is stickers for all the tiers sent every other month, with now one design per month instead of two. and the Sweet Angel tier raised from $5 to $7.50. Though if you did want to still support us at the $5 tier with no physical benefits, you can stay locked in at your current price point. So there's that. YouTube channel members, we have Mojo Z78, Absolute Irwin, DK Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Chris Fee, Big O Fern, Cram, Fat Batman, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Mendez, Sia Dreams, JCia, and B Chan. I guess I have him on there twice again. Membership for the YouTube channel starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you are not. You get access to loyalty badges and emojis and weekly shoutouts. Here's a look at the network. We have Live Unboxing, After Dark, Live and Let Dice, OFAC, Small Talk, Collectors Clubs, Bricks and Brews. I guess at some point we'll probably have to replace the Ringcast, because that's I don't know what's happening with that. So we may have to make some small adjustments to this one, John. But this is the network and some of the handsome faces that are on the network. Here's a look at our TeePublic stickers, shirts rather, start at $13 when they're on sale, or $20 regularly. We have a bunch of different designs up there. If there's anything you ever want that's not up there, you let me know and I will make it happen. John, can we read our socials, please?
Yes, sir. We got on Facebook Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, at Collecting Weekly on Instagram, as well as at Collecting Weekly _clips, which we are reinventing and going to get some awesome clips up. I think Zach uploaded one already today. And then we got,
it's just such a...
It's just it's a shit ton of work to keep track of everything, and so we're going to find some time and focus on that.
Yeah.
And then we got at the _everyday_collector.
Yeah. About clips, it's just such a great resource that I did want to start getting that going. I know John's got his plate quite full, so I'll be working on that. And, if you guys have any moments that you think are quite funny, you send me a message and we'll get that clipped and added. So stay tuned for more clips. I think it's going to be fun. And that's pretty much it. Do we have any shout-outs that we want to give? Obviously, Leslie, sweet lady from Marvelez.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed having her on tonight. And can't wait to have her on in the future.
I wanted to mention we have our giveaway going on Club as well.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to JC from Legendary Beast Studios, we are doing the third scale Thor giveaway. A few more weeks. We're going to be doing the drawing November 25th. So you still have some time to register, and I don't know if Zach can, if it's easily accessible, we can post the form. You already did.
I got you.
Yeah, thanks so much. If you guys click on the form, there's the steps, some verbatim to read and the steps to follow in order to get enrolled for the giveaway. It's a big statue. It's a really nice one, and I'm grateful to Jay for donating the piece to the channel.
Absolutely. Sorry, I make these graphics, and sometimes when you mess up, it really stresses me out. Yeah, that's a huge giveaway. We also have our awards nominations. If you guys want to rewind, and you can click through on that QR code. And like I said, they've got like 40, 50 people so far that have nominated, but the more the merrier. It helps us get a better idea of the final 5 figures you want. We always have people that complain like, oh, you guys didn't pick this figure. And we ask them, did they nominate? And they say no. So, gotta nominate if you want your figure to potentially be on that list. Ben, Marco, you guys got anything cool going on your channels this week?
Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, so we should be doing Bargain Bin Bros coming back. It's been a few weeks, but it should be going down this Friday morning. Look for it around 9 Pacific time, noon Eastern time. And then a shout out to Useby again for organizing this whole Comic-Con thing, and shout out to a lot of members of Collecting Weekly that will be going. So should be a nice little crew, and it's just like great to be a part of this community. And like all these little cheats. So shout out to everybody.
Yeah, and for me, I'm going to try and get on with Bargain Bin Bros if I can get back home from work early enough. So you'll see me there. But I was just on with Will on Sunday for his one of his main shows. So definitely check Will Foxification out. Really fun show. Talked about some really cool topics, actually, some really good deep dives. And then on Thursday evening, I'll be streaming with Brother Cousins. He was kind enough to invite me there. So check out that stream as well. Should be a really fun time. Definitely excited about it. But for my channel, I've got a couple figure reviews that I've got kind of in the lurch. I just haven't got them posted yet. So you'll see a few more from me in the next couple days. And then I've got a couple 2.0 store tours to redo. I was at a collecting store the other day that I hadn't been to since I first started doing my tours, and the entire selection is turned over, and I had an amazing time. It was like a gold mine. So I think I'm going to go back in and do another store tour there soon. So stay tuned on the Ben Thomas Show.
John, you got anything cool going on? I think you mentioned earlier in the chat you're doing reactables soon.
Yeah, doing a reactables. We saw that Prime 1 repaint, so I got a reactables in the back pocket to get out there. Been busy, man. Holy mac, it's a lot. It is a lot. Busy time with the holidays.
Yeah, busy time. Probably in the next few weeks, the CW Network will outline our recording schedules, so some of the shows will be taken off, and you know, for some parts of the holidays. So we'll figure that out. We also have to figure out when we're doing the next Pose Wars for November. So I'll talk with Dean and John behind the scenes, and we'll hopefully get something for you guys.
The last one was really good.
We should we should do a Christmas Secret Santa between us. We need to get another person to include it, but we should do a little live show Secret Santa. That'd be fun.
We have, if you're a Patreon member, we only have 2 people that have signed up so far for the Patreon Secret Santa. So if you want in, it's on patreon.com. When you log in, it'll be like one of the first posts there.
I just want to send Dean and Kevin cute
I would
gifts.
say if it's by the end of November, we still just have 2 people. We'll just have to cancel it. But we've done it every year for like the past 4 or 5 years. So hopefully that doesn't get canceled. But
I meant live with just the boys here. But yes,
okay, well we could do that too. But I'm just saying, there's Patreons watching now. It's like, bro, if y'all want this holiday tradition to keep going,
Get in there. Before you anyways us really quick, and then obviously the reissue, right? We put out the announcement. We got to nail down a day for the end of the month. So hopefully that'll be included in the recording schedule.
Horrible name for a show, by the way. Just letting you know.
I know.
Triggers
it's gonna be,
for some folks, but
we got some great ideas. They're marinating. We gotta suss out the really great ones from the not so great ones. But I think Mommy of the Month might be probably one of the best ideas we've ever had. So
that took some splaining, by the way.
That's right.
Shauna asked me about that immediately after I posted. I was like, well,
Marco got in trouble too.
Technically, Zach wrote it.
No, Mario wrote it. He put the peach emoji too. Almost got me in
Mario. Wow.
Or I'm sorry, Marco.
I told him it was you.
I'm fine to pass the buck. That's
I thought I was in the DeLorean there for a second.
What saved it, though? What got me out of the hot water was that I then showed her the Daddies of the Month section.
Oh, of course, for equal opportunity.
We're not just gonna do mummies. We're gonna do.
I still say we do
that makes you sound like a creeper.
I still say we do a 2023 calendar, but that's just me.
I like it.
I've been saying it for years, John.
Nobody wants to do. I've mentioned it last year. There's no traction.
You hate to see it. Anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Ben.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.